How about that? One of the cities of the world, Melbourne, Australia. On a Friday night, the first preliminary final. Cutthroat. The umpires tonight, Brett Rosebery, Ray Chamberlain, who better for the cutthroat final in Razor Ray, and Sean Ryan as the teams assemble, waiting for the national anthem. Mike Thompson, some final words. Geelong defeated Collingwood back in round 9 by 36 points. Then Collingwood turned the tables, round 19 by 22. Magpies, no doubt, I think the consensus is up here, the best team over the course of the season. But of course, they start even tonight. That stands for naught as we go down to Craig Willis.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Australian Football League and our premier partner Toyota welcome you to the first preliminary final here tonight at the MCG. Would you now please join with the coaches, players and umpires as we stand for the Australian national anthem.
So the drama etched on so many faces there, familiar faces in this neck of the woods. Say no more, Gary Ablett. As we await the toss of the coin, I suppose we need to bounce along the table and see who favours whom. Let's start with Lee Matthews.
Well, I'm favouring Collingwood slightly, although I thought that Bomber Thompson's comments about hate was Geelong have to be unbelievably aggressive and energetic.
With Tom in a moment.
This
I think we know.
You got a coin, Kerry? Great, just over here, look at the camera. Look at your call. Heads it is. Okay, good luck, guys.
Before Tom, as we increase the drama, let's go down to the boundary. Tom.
Thanks, Dennis. As you'd expect, the atmosphere down here is unbelievable. But I want to take you inside the rooms before the game. This is in the Collingwood rooms, and Mick Moldhouse there talking to Tyson Goldsack, who's replaced Leon Davis. A couple of moments later, this is Paul Medhurst just consoling Leon Davis in the middle of the screen there. Josh Hunt, pre-game, was out doing some torpedoes. Now, they were big barrels that he was kicking out during the warm-up. Geelong really struggled to move the ball against Collingwood last time they played. Each of those kicks was landing outside the 50, so it'll be interesting to see whether that's a tactic employed early in this game tonight. Richo, you believe that David Wojcinski could play a huge role in the game tonight?
I do, Timmy. The last time these teams met in round 19, Wojcinski didn't play. He's going to be crucial tonight. We know Collingwood press through their half-forward line and are very hard to get through. If Geelong can get the ball into Wojcinski's hands and he can break through the lines, it's going to go a long way to them being able to score tonight.
Tim Watson, Matthew Richardson down on the boundary. Tim went on a Tom. I was about to say Tom, just delay it. Okay, who do you like? I know who you like because I've heard you say it earlier in the week. I wasn't being facetious before.
No, my tip is Geelong by 5 points. It might be a bit of blind faith, a little bit of preliminary final history thrown in there as well, and they'll, I think, in a close one.
Talk about Geelong needing to be unbelievably aggressive. Who are the 2 or 3 Geelong players that are going to lead the attack on the contest?
The 3 for mine. Joel Selwood hits the contest probably harder than anyone. Jimmy Bartel will put his head over the ball. James Kelly really underrated in his hardness around the ball. He's their #1 tackler. That'd be the 3 for mine.
Paul Chapman as well, perhaps. 5 goals against Collingwood in the corresponding game last season, but just 1 in the 2 games against the Magpies this year. And there's the skipper. Started in terrific fashion this year. Had 1 or 2 injury concerns. Hasn't been quite the player since coming back. And that's good to see. Shake of the hand. Some respect there between Johnson and O'Brien. All about respect now. Opening bounce of the preliminary final. Ottens and Jolly. Jolly wins it. Ablett grabs it. Slips a hand pass away. Varco under pressure. Back to Johnson. Johnson upended. Ball's got it. Just jabs it down towards half forward. Nice. Brown wheels around. Looks inside the forward 50. Penetrating kick. In front doors. Knocked away Taylor. Inside the 50, Didak. In space, Jolly. Lines up at goal and misses everything. Out of bounds on the full.
Couple of really interesting early matchups for Geelong. Lonigan's actually gone to Cloak, and we thought Taylor would all week. Scarlett's pushing up onto Brown.
Bring it in.
So the Cats to half-back. Maxwell over Ottens.
It's good out of bounds for Geelong. As the ball went to Ottens, but there's 3 Collingwood jumpers around that contest. That's the ability to get numbers, extra numbers around the footy is Collingwood's enormous strength.
Brown's on Podsiadly and Reed's got Mooney. And they've got Thomas for the moment. Bartel had it stripped off him by Pendlebury, and then Pendlebury held it up. Swan run down. That doesn't happen often. Beams does kick goals though, and kicks to full forward. A real one-on-one here. Well, he can toe poke, we know that, Scarlett. That was just a little one. Coming forward, Hunt, no free kick, and then over the line.
Some further matchups. Bruce Cameron Ling started on a wing and is picking up Dale Thomas.
Was this holding the ball? No, he did get a little handball, the champ.
Well, we're expecting that Ling is actually going to take whoever's in the middle part of the ground. Interesting tactic that, so he can't get exploited.
Boundary throw in front beams, head down. Kelly took him to ground, spills out of the pack. Jolly running out of space. Clever hand pass. Didak. So good at making something out of nothing. Hurriedly onto the boot, just missed.
3 metres.
Bartel quickly in. Selwood, nothing much ahead. Demands something of Varco. He was beaten to the football initially by Maxwell. On the ground, Corey. He went looking for Varco as well. High tackle on Joel Corey, so he gets the free. Corey plays on to Taylor. Taylor to Ablett. And back to Harry Taylor. Inside the defensive 50 to midfield. Storming up the ground is Mooney. Has he got support? No. Knocked away by Reed towards the boundary. This pair one out. Mooney wins the day, at least initially. Still going, Mooney. That was terrific. Over the top, Thomas. Stolen away by Swan. Swan short to Didak in space. Didak runs it up. He'll kick from about 65. Dropping back his Dawes. Coming to the football. Lonigan was pushed in the back, and he will get the free kick.
Encouraging sign there for Collingwood was obviously Didak streaming towards goal, but they had one-on-one contest, and it was Cloak and Lonigan deep.
I feel like they're being suffocated early, the Cats, don't you? Ablett to Taylor for not the first time tonight. Enright back to Ablett, and he has to retreat and hold his nerve, and it's not a great kick to Corey, and then to that other Corey and Enright, and now Ablett goes long, and O'Brien will just take an easy one. Everything Harry does, he does with flair.
Races away, kicks inside the forward 50. Cloak.
Well, already the game's been going just 2.5 minutes, and it hasn't got past the Geelong forward half of the ground. That's we know Collingwood dominate the ball in their front half.
That was interesting that Harry O'Brien intercepted the quick kick out because Johnson had Steve Johnson got sucked into the fence. I think he's got to be careful he doesn't get sucked forward now. We've talked about Travis's Cloak's goal kicking, and this is that in-between distance, 30 metres. This will be a really important confidence booster for him and his team.
Well, he's kicked 15 goals in 8 previous games against the Cats, including 2 hauls of 4, and this one is okay. A rapturous roar reached Travis Cloak's opening goal of the night and the opening goal of the game.
Made the goal umpire do a little bit of work, but it got through. Didn't matter as long as it got through. But that point of actually the Geelong forwards getting sucked upfield, this was a terrific mark, but it was the O'Brien interception in midfield that put the Geelong defence out of position.
It was also the really quick transference from Harry O'Brien to get the ball deep in quick. Travis Cloak spoke to the media during the week and said how much confidence he gains from taking a really strong clunk mark like that. Yep. You can just imagine the confidence going through the roof now.
And Richo, you've been there and done it yourself. I mean, what do you think about Cloak right now after dobbing that one?
Well, the fact that he took a strong contested mark, his confidence would have already been high. But to kick your first goal when you've had problems during the year, absolutely crucial to his mindset tonight.
So 24-28 from set shots before that. Selwood, Ablett getting a fair bit of footy early. Good kick to Varco. The 2-5s, that'll be a big duel. Bartel, Chapman, Tuvi's got him tonight. Kelly did well because he broke a tackle. And now Varco, not a great kick. Ling had to wait. Swan gets him. Ling strong through the core. He held up. Side bottom, bends it. Back to O'Brien. Quick tackle from Stokes. O'Brien's kick was clever. And now Swan again. So Swan and Ablett, a lot of footy early, the two champs.
Magpies running hard. Swan after the bounce. Kicks it beyond the wing. Loose ball. Corey does well. Gets in front. No free kick. Umpires let them play. McCaffer, Didak, Pendlebury runs into an open goal and puts it on the top deck.
The composure and the strength lead down back the first time it's got into the defensive 50 from the Collingwood players is really important then.
Well, that numbers at the contest. We talk about it all the time, and when you watch a game of footy on TV, at the moment you're going to be seeing more Collingwood jumpers in the screen because they just keep getting there to the contest. I mean, they've started the game with the kind of energy. Helps that they didn't play last week. Sometimes that gives the fresh start.
It was a poor kick by Varco coming in, wasn't it? And
yeah, he must have missed the target. But just don't they get there, Collingwood? Just get there to support. They're just looking so quick over the whole team.
And didn't Didak and Pendlebury do some damage in round 19 against the Cats? I mean, they were two of the big playmakers for the Magpies that night. Pendlebury had an airy. Gets the free. Well, Geelong need a steadier quickly because this game can get away in a hurry if Collingwood can get a quick lead. They are fast starters, the Pies. Blair. Push out, Taxi, push out! What a great story. He's played 8 of the last 9 coming in. Kick not so good. Wojcinski. Richo talked about his importance before the game. Enright got it from Ablett. And now Ling, but he's corralled again. They're just not finding space. O'Brien cleverly then. And now Mooney up the ground. Back to Johnson up the ground. Ablett fetching it. Lovely kick to give Chapman a bit of a run and bounces it well. Chappie still with Chapman. Loves a go in finals. He's gone. No, he hasn't. Maxwell the saviour.
Terrific play by him, Maxwell.
They got a chance, Geelong, to kick it, and the Collingwood have really made a behind out of what looked like a certain goal.
Stokes indecisive there. I think decided not to go for the footy. Maxwell never gave up. This is McCaffer. Quick transference to the pocket. Dawes has got it, the big guy. Sharp angle. Wheels around. Centering kick. Wellingham out the back. Settled. Interfered with. Will get the free kick. No advantage paid. It's against Enright.
And that's a great example of the two different techniques we saw. Nick Maxwell down the other end just judge the flight a bit better, avoid contact, whereas Corey Enright there getting charged with the front-on contact or the chop of the arm. Either way, made contact with the body.
There's virtually nothing you can do, Enright. No. They only can make clean contact with the footy with no contact with Wellingham's body, which is virtually impossible.
Quick summing up there by Dawes in that left full forward pocket. Geelong on their forward line 6 on 6, but they've been going sideways when they have won a clearance so far in this game. They're paying the price at the other end. Wellingham kicks the goal. First 3 in the game, all to the Magpies.
Yes, it's interesting. There was no sort of loose players back, but what will happen is I think the Collingwood defence will hold its position. Probably the Geelong defence will as well. But again, the Geelong forwards have got to be so careful they don't get sucked upfield. Steve Johnson's a good example of that. I mean, if he wants to go and get kicks in the back half, he has to keep the Collingwood defence honest by being there.
Well, at ground level, the Collingwood pace is very, very evident. They've already been rotating the bench highly. They've done that all year. And when they come on, they go hard and then they come back off. That ball went from one end to the other in about 6 or 7 seconds. Extraordinary.
Ablett's gone forward here and O'Brien picks him up. He's had 8 disposals, Ablett. Kelly, Bartel. Didn't hope that one, and Thomas read it well with Ling. They're both starting the centre square encounters on the wing together. Good handball to Pendlebury. in that same draft in the top 5, those two guys. Blair the target. Good effort at the back, though, from Enright. Side bottom held up by Hawkins.
No prior ball ping.
Now already you see huge numbers around the stoppage here. Nick Maxwell electing to sit right back in front of James Podsiadly and Cam Mooney. His direct opponent is Travis Varco. Travis Varco needs to make himself dangerous as a forward target so that Maxwell shows respect.
Magpies lead it by 18 points. Bartel hooks it down behind. Ablett so busy. Tries to get out of there. Chapman falling to the ground, bounces off Johnson. Hawkins feeds it back, taken by Enright, kicks towards midfield. Podsiadly came up, missed it, well played by Shaw, scuffs it into the path of Swan. Swan down towards the 50, off hands at the back, side bottom, clever. Pendlebury, gee, that left foot comes in handy, found his way through, kicks it down towards full forward. Scarlett, Wojcinski, can he do it again? He did it last week. Shades of last week, 3 bounces. Maxwell thought about it, didn't go. Wojcinski, Chapman, now they've broken them. Through goes Varco, long kick, terrific stuff Geelong. Wojcinski wonderful, he took them on, he did, and as a result they kicked the goal.
It all started then, Lee. They had Scarlett in a 2-on-1 back there. He'd made the early defence decision to get an outnumber, which enabled Wojcinski to get the run on here. Just see Scarlett flicking the ball out to Wojcinski. What would really please Mark Thompson is, again, he would just see him cut back inside here. And the way they worked it through, not necessarily anything on here, but a quick handball over to get out of traffic to Chapman over to Varco. That's the way they've got to break down the zone.
Varco and Wojcinski are the main speed, I suspect, in the Geelong side, aren't they?
This is exactly what Richo was talking about pre-game, the ability to get the ball in the hands of Wojcinski, for him to run, for him to overlap, to him to get through the lines, and then for that overlapping handball there to Varco, 2 of their quicker players up the field.
They needed it, didn't they? Ablett again. Chapman. Maxwell bends that back and runs away and then kicks to half forward. Didak in a 1-on-1. And then Lee Brown bursting forward. And then with a ball burst to full forward, it's bounced the wrong way. Oh, he's a magician. That's not the Lee Brown we used to know, is it?
You don't plan for that.
Well, isn't it amazing? Geelong almost kicked that goal that Maxwell spoiled, and that one was heading for the left behind post. We'll probably get a good angle of it here, but where the ball's headed, where it bounces, that is an absolute left turn.
Shane Warne might have had the ball of the century, but I reckon Lee Brown's...
That is amazing, isn't it? Makes Geelong all of a sudden think, there's sort of that...
It's the footy gods.
When the footy gods interfere in the game, it's hard to defy them.
Well, the Sherrans are supposed to be neutral. This footy apparently barracks for the Magpies. That was amazing. 25-7, midway through the term. Jolly comes. Hawkins didn't quite know what to do. Wellingham out of the middle towards half forward. Brown again follows it towards centre half forward. Joel Corey did well. Scarlett, Ablett, been in everything. Kicks it down towards half forward. Direct, not bad. There's going to be a free kick and it's going Collingwood's way.
Collingwood defenders making terrific defensive decisions at the moment.
2v wide, Swan the target. Bartel front spot. Goldsack, he's come in for Davis tonight, back to Swan. So Swan and Ablett both racking it up. It's a free kick to Shaw.
How quickly did Swan recover?
Bounce straight back.
He just rebalanced so quickly.
So Johnson, free kick against Scarlett. And Johnson, good spot for him being a left footer. Now they've given him some room here, Geelong. And he's going to pump it to Lee Brown again. Didak waits down. And Enright takes the mark.
Hang on. Hold on, Corey, hold.
Can't hear you.
It's an interchange infringement against somebody.
It's a free kick to Geelong. Interchange, French. To Geelong. Back where the boundary throwing was.
Isn't
free
it
kick
50?
was. Bring the ball up here.
So it's a free kick plus 50.
50 metres.
So
50 metres.
So this is a good break for the Cats.
50.
So from here we go 50 forward again from Selwood. So Selwood will take the ball to half forward
You'll
now.
almost have a shot at goal.
It's a big penalty, that one, isn't it?
Yep.
So the penalty was the free kick.
Was it Thomas who came, didn't go through the gate?
Yes.
Probably because Shaw was kicking where he wanted to run into. Now Hunt to pull forward. Podsiadly front spot. Varco, good hands again. Milburn, but he got low. He'll get a free.
I don't care. It was very far. It was very fought here.
Hard way to get a kick, but he did duck, didn't he?
Yes, I think when players are being protected, if they get their head forward, encourages players to get their head forward.
Just here. Come through. Come through. Yeah, thank you. Play on.
So he's played it on here and given it to Chapman, and not a good result.
No.
Well, you know you're going to be rewarded, Lee, aren't you, if you put your head down like that? So
players are certainly going to get their head forward with a great lot more confidence.
Swan runs outside the defensive 50 then. McCaffer, that's a good grab. Almost came out. McCaffer at the interchange gates to half forward. Brown. Dawes wants it long. Can he go the trip? No, but chipping in short. Didak takes it on his left foot. The angle will open up for him.
That's the quickness, isn't it, of a Didak, who the ball wasn't being kicked to him. It was a kick, scungy kick off the boot, but Didak just read it.
Already a telling statistic, Collingwood running at 79% kicking efficiency, Geelong only 53.
Yeah. Collingwood pressure makes it hard.
He leads Collingwood with 37 goals this season. Had a career high 41 back in 06. 16 goals in 14 finals. Mercurial player, Didak. And the mercury is rising. Collingwood fans consented.
Yes, you look at the movement, and it's just the speed of the Collingwood team. Like, every player on the field looks quick. And I don't know whether they're quick athletically, but they just play with so much energy.
But when you move the ball fast, I haven't seen a player yet who can run faster than the ball kicked. But what's really impressed me so far is the way they've brought the ball out. They're making really great decisions as defenders, but then the ball use and as we mentioned before, the kicking efficiency up at around 80%. That's extraordinary.
He had 13 contested possessions the last time they played against the Cats and 35 disposals.
Yeah, he was wonderful back in round 19 and got his confidence going with that mark and goal.
So 5 goals to 1 in the opening term. And Geelong have worked so hard to get a shot on goal. Wellingham in hard. So is side bottom. And Selwood.
And speaking about that round 19 game, the 3 dominant players so far for Collingwood on the ground: Swan, Pendlebury and Didak were the 3 ones who really drove victory back in that game.
Needs a manic Selwood to impose himself here in these clinches, doesn't it? Ball.
We've mentioned a couple of times already Steve Johnson's positioning will seem to slightly left to the stoppage here, but he's right up in the stoppage. He's virtually playing as an extra midfielder rather than as a forward third goal kicker. I'm just not sure whether I like that from Geelong's point of view.
Milburn was third up, but Beams read it best. And then on the left to fall forward. McCaffer built it away by Scarlett. Pendlebury measures it, gives it a little hook.
And just on that, Lee, what that's enabling Collingwood to do, if Steve Johnson's pushing up to the stoppage, it's enabling a Collingwood player. At times it's been Maxwell, at times it's been Thomas sort of drifted back to set up the free man across half back for the Pies.
Boundary throw in. Ottens wins it down. McCaffer goes after it. Side bottom did well. Pendlebury dragged down. Ablett confronted by Thomas. Over the top. Milburn clever. Plenty of support. Ablett, so much of the football, drives it through midfield. Mooney's in front. Stokes is lurking behind. Now if they can give the ball to Stokes. Stokes is being chased by Tuvey. Meantime, Wojcinski being chased by Shaw. Shaw does brilliantly. Stayed with him step for step and thwarted the attack.
And that's inferred pressure too.
Well, you can see he's Shaw saying, I've got to stay goal side. As long as I'm goal side, he can't get past me.
Did you could argue a case for deliberate there, I reckon?
Usain Bolt's here tonight. I reckon he would have enjoyed that one. Here's Ablett again. 13 disposals so far to Burns. And then Burns back he goes to Kelly. And Kelly's kick will be picked off. Maxwell playing a bit as a goalkeeper at times and that quarterback. Varco, his opponent, comes up to him now. Maxwell belts it to centre wing. And Geelong have the numbers. Lonergan gets one.
Lonergan in the head. Oh, so to him.
It's Lonergan's
Lonergan free.
I've noticed Harry Taylor in the first quarter. He just hasn't quite got the right matchup. He almost looks lost.
Well, you won't. I mean, the obvious matchup that everyone was anticipating was Taylor to Cloak, and that didn't start. Lonergan went to Cloak. You wonder whether that maybe unsettles a player.
Kick inside the 50. Fair mark. Reid. Mooney appear to be pushed in the back. That's the case that Geelong are trying to make. Meantime, ball is gone. Didak, Johnson, Didak. Comes back, Swan, 8th possession. Just loops it over the top. Reid's got it. Reid left half back. So just for the moment, they take the sting out of the game, but not for long. Harry decides to run it up. O'Brien outside the 50. Short one to Thomas. Shaw is cruising past. Thomas wants to use him. Goes now. Shaw kicks down towards half forward. Does that a bit, Shaw. Comes for the gallop, and this one goes out of bounds on the full.
Cameron!
I'm not sure you can do that.
Yeah, I think that was a bit of a push before the ball arrived.
So Ling certainly backs to the wall. Ottens was a target. Bartel a bit of an airy, and then Brown who cooked that miraculous goal. And underneath it, Taylor crosses. Scarlett, who set so much up. Milburn, just the second cat to play in 20 finals tonight. Buddha Hocking on 21 and Milburn now on 20. Went past Riccardi tonight. Back he goes to Scarlett in the heart of the centre square. Kicks to half forward, and O'Brien, well, Mooney was stranded on the bottom there and no one else flew, and now Wellingham.
Runs the boundary, kicks beyond the wing, beautiful finish. Dawes on the lead, working tirelessly, just presenting. Short one, comes across the ground, taken by Beams.
That's 16 inside, 18 inside, where are we here? 13 inside 50s to Collingwood for 6 scoring shots. That's not bad, but Geelong just can't get forward. They've had 8 for only 2 scoring shots. So the Collingwood defence is really just completely shutting Geelong down at the moment.
And they are still getting plenty of the ball. Geelong 71 to 63. I always think if that differential remains reasonably close, that's a great result for Collingwood.
Yeah, getting the chances.
Brown reaching over the top. Bounce favoured Bartel. Selwood, Chapman. Selwood has to wait, bearing down Swan. Over the head. Didn't hear a whistle. Play on. Kick comes down towards half forward. O'Brien, Wellingham. Back to O'Brien. Clever kick up towards the wing. Bounces on its point. Hawkins had it a while. With strength did well. Chapman taken down. Geelong playing for kicks at the moment. Brown drives inside the forward 50. He'll direct at Scarlett.
Running off half back to Ling and then back to Scarlett and back into trouble, and Beams gets the footy. Now he's got an open goal square. They'll work something out here. Pendlebury, bang, goal. He's kicked 2.
Turnover again. They've been the turnover kings all year, score more heavily than any other side, particularly front of centre. What Geelong are trying to do is free up Matthew Scarlett to play the quarterback role, but the squeeze or the box that James Hurd spoke about during the week is really just boxing them in the middle of the ground.
It was the latch on tackle, wasn't it? We see
Thomas, I think it was.
And Thomas just latched on. And then see the Collingwood jumpers, they just keep getting numbers to support each other, lay the tackle, goal.
Just watching this Pendlebury goal again, but the Cats have got real problems at the other end of the ground. They had troubles there last time too. It's now marks inside 59 to 1 Collingwood's way, and the last time these two sides met, Geelong kicked 12 goals. 11 of those came from their small forwards, so they're experiencing the same problem again tonight. They can't get their tall forwards in the game.
Well, it was like a scene from the Hurt Locker out there on the wing. Geelong very, very careful, and Collingwood bolting. Knocked down by Brown. In goes Hawkins. Ablett again trying his heart out. Slung could have almost been holding the ball. Umpire says he'll ball it up.
Just down the other end of the ground, Harry Taylor now has moved on to Travis Cloak, a more familiar matchup.
Ablett 14 possessions.
Already.
Brown knocks it down. Again, Bartel wanting a free kick. Down goes Wojcinski.
That's amazing. 14 disposals, kicking efficiency 86%, but hasn't really had an impact yet.
The other worrying thing is the next best is Matt Scarlett, who's playing the loose man across the back. So they need Gary Ablett needs some more ball-winning help in through the middle of the ground.
So a quiet 14. Here's Stokes. Like in cricket, the quiet triple century. Maxwell goes back and takes the mark. Left half back just pops it over the top, and they'll break again. Ball's got it.
Ball kicks to centre wing. Blair was a target. Johnson just overran it. He'll get back. He's got Blair if he wants him. That's a great handball though to Shaw. He's split the middle, and Shaw running hard with a couple of bounces. Jolly's got back quickly. Scarlett and Jolly. Scarlett's got to retreat. Didak, brilliant handball over the top. Gave Jolly half a chance. Hawkins. Hunt. Good kick. Varco looks up. There's a one-on-one here. There's a lovely kick to Mooney. Reed's done very well on Mooney so far. Goldsack went fishing, then wins it. Swan belting it forward in that combative style. McCaffer to Shaw, out wide. Johnson's a left footer, but he loaded up. He might. Here he goes. He's done it. They've kicked 7.
This is exhilarating the way Collingwood are playing. I mean, basically, again, the speed, Collingwood versus Geelong, Johnson versus Ling. Ling just couldn't stick the tackle.
I'll tell you what's been impressive. Even though Goldsack had a spill there, you touched on it early in the game, and it's a fair indication when your side's on song that there's just numbers in the screen.
There,
and even here, Johnson's providing the run, gets past, couldn't stick the tackle. I mean, they're doing everything right. 7 goals, 1. It's a great return. Just the extra run here from Johnson. We just sidesteps Cameron Ling, missed the tackle. It's exhilarating football. You said a 7 goals, 1.
That's the word. Describe it. Don't know where Collingwood and exhilarating have gone together that much.
They are tonight.
Just tonight.
Ball taken high, no free kick. Swan launches another attack inside the forward 50 and Cloak this time. Well, Tom, if you were the captain, would you ask for a head count about now? They seem to have 20 more blokes, Collingwood.
We've spoken about it a couple of times. You know when your side is really on song is when there's outnumbers everywhere. I mean, this was a one-on-one contest, but you're right, Dennis. Every contest with Collingwood numbers, they can flick it out, and they're winning the important ones. You have to win the ball at the coalface, and that's a contested mark.
That's a 2-on-1 contested mark. Can't get much better than that.
Contested marks in the forward 50 are worth their weight in gold.
So Cloak. 7-1 to 1-1. Collingwood irrepressible. Cloak comes in, and this one goes left to right and goes through for a behind.
And that was set up with Jolly just getting over the top of Hawkins in the centre square.
Just watch Tom Hawkins' eyes there. He had his eyes firmly planted on Darren Jolly.
That's the clear clearance, the clear hit out.
So Geelong, who haven't been in this position in a final. Selwood, Tom, you know better than me, but in the big streak, I can't remember anything like this. Blair. I guess the Saints had a good lead a couple of weeks ago, but it didn't feel like this. Now Corey, under pressure to Chapman. Called to play on. And under pressure, that's symbolic, isn't it? Chapman blazing.
Well, the players who are really impressing me, Bruce, Maxwell and O'Brien, the halfback flankers who are setting up the wall and putting on that visual pressure, if you like, for Geelong going forward.
There's Maxwell again inside the forward 50, falls in front. Chapman, taken by Sidebottom, will get the free kick. So the champs are reeling.
Look at the inside 50, 20s to Collingwood, 8 to Geelong. That is a massive number.
Chapman gives it to Hunt, normally a reliable kick. Hunt short. Taylor.
Just on that count, Lee, in the round 19 game, it was 66 Collingwood to 37 Geelong. That's exactly how they got their game going that night.
Collingwood are getting massive numbers inside 50, but they've just got the efficiency, 9 shots, and the conversion for 7 goals.
Wojcinski, Dunaward's half forward then. Mooney couldn't get to the contest. Burns, Kelly out of bounds. Let's go down to Matthew Richardson.
Well, you guys have been talking about the pace up there of Collingwood tonight, and just to reiterate it, they've had 13 running bounces to 5. Once the ball gets out of a clearance or stoppage, they're just blowing them away at ground level.
Jolly wins the tap. Kelly almost a clearance. Ball very good.
He's the one in tight, isn't he? You don't see him much, Luke Ball, because he's in the middle of the pack. Players all around him, but he's got the first hands on the footy in tight so often.
Could start a trivia question with him. Who was the last bloke who played in consecutive grand finals for different clubs? I'll give you the answer at the end of the night, Lee, if they win. Milburn. He hasn't lost too many games ball in the last 2 years. No. The Saints won a lot last year, didn't they? Chapman. Now Burns. O'Brien corrals him. Bartel, that sideways movement. Bartel kicks forward. Podgiadli's hardly seen it. Burns gets it back, but he's swamped. It's like a tsunami at the moment. Bartel down low, dropped it down. Terrific tackle by Tuvey it was. And they almost got it back. Tuvey does get it back.
Didak runs the boundary. They like to go wide. Didak to half-forward Clark and a searching lead. 44 plays 7. Short one inside the 50. Loose ball. Just went to Dorsch, who was stationary. Varco slips over. Running out of space, Varco. Feeds it across the line. Throw it in, says the umpire. Tim?
What's that, mate?
Hi, Tim. Burns in replay to Bartel. Bartel, like Burns, under pressure immediately. Chapman slips out. Milburn. Scarlett. Chapman. This kick again very high, gives Collingwood a play on the ball. Tuvey follows up his own spoil. Brilliant. Gets it back from Swan. Dying seconds of the term. Taylor needs to hold here. He's going to get a free kick.
50.
Won't be enough if you're a Cat supporter. It'll take a good kick. 5 seconds to go. Takes the arms here. Barely just slides down the arm, but Taylor's got the free. Dawes has been lively. Forward line has functioned so well. Magpies for real tonight. The appetite and the energy is there. You can't say the same about their opposition. It's quarter time in the first preliminary final. And Collingwood have found the keys and they're on the road. The grand final beckons. Early days, I know, but their dominance has been supreme. 7-2, 1-1, quarter time on a Friday night. Fair to say the sign's so bad for the Cats. A lot of guys playing for free kicks. A lot of guys falling over. Amazing stuff in that first term, but still 3 quarters to go. They got into trouble against the Saints and almost fought their way out. This is a much steeper curve. Second term on a Friday night. 44 plays 7. Bad bounce. Recall. Whoops, miscue there by Jolly.
Just looking at the Cats forward line, Dennis Cameron Link starting forward, Nick Maxwell going to him. So perhaps a defensive forward role for the skipper on the Collingwood skipper.
Still a tough name to say. Knocked down by Ottens. Ablett swoops on the loose football. 15 now. Not one of his best ones over the shoulder. Joel Corey in trouble. Into the path of Didak. Didak pokes it. Wasn't 15. Doesn't matter. Comes across to side bottom. Kicks his first goal against Geelong. Terrific stuff. Ricocheted off Cloak. Side bottom got there. And as a result now the margin is up to 43 points. Unbelievable.
Yeah, it's amazing. You mentioned, Dennis, how the oval ball tonight looks like it's barracking for Collingwood, because when Geelong make a mistake and the ball that's just kick off the ground, quick hands, bang.
You say that, but they won the contest. They surged in numbers. Travis Cloak's playing in front, so when you do make those courageous decisions, often, what do they say? The saying's fortune favours the brave, and that's what they're doing at the moment.
That's it. The backward handball that actually doesn't find its target, then the opposition can just run onto it, and that's really what happened then. Collingwood just run onto it.
So a 7-goal opening term and an opening goal there. The last team to kick 7 goals in a quarter and against Geelong in a final was West Coast in 1994.
We wondered how the clearances and the contested possessions would affect the game. They're about even. And Collingwood at 7 goals in front with about 12 more inside 50. So it hasn't been the contested possession clearance numbers, just their use of the ball when they rebound.
Johnson tried to get a clearance.
Just from the stat sheet, Geelong have actually been kicking the ball more in the past month or so, and they've had the 110 disposals, and it's 44 kicks and 64 handballs, so they're back to that handball, and that's that perceived pressure, the siege mentality of Collingwood.
Got a half a dozen players who haven't had a kick tonight, though, Geelong.
Some pretty important ones.
Ablett, not one of them, trying to get this out, and he gave it back to Varco. Kelly down low with Thomas.
I mean, there is an element. I don't think almost any player hand passes if he can kick.
No.
But you hand pass a lot of times because you can't really get clear into space to settle and kick.
Well represented there, Geelong. All to no avail, although Johnson gets his first kick inside the forward 50, hangs a long time in the air, and a terrific mark is taken by Mooney. That's better.
The first time the big, strong Geelong body. Certainly Mooney's got the bulk against Reid, but it's the first time that he's actually been able to out-position his opponent.
First mark inside 50 for the Cats. His first kick coming up. Well, there's no sure thing. No, there's still hope here. Mooney should kick it. Does kick it. Sorry, Ed.
Certainly going to have to make the most of all their opportunities, Geelong, because they just have their midfield is so much under siege that when they do get the footy, they haven't got the time. This really was just a quick kick in, and sometimes that's all you can do and give your forwards a chance, at least in equal numbers. Good strong mark then.
Just see their turnover, and it's the goal. Geelong have only kicked 2, but that's their first goal from a turnover. The other side of the coin, Collingwood have scored 6 goals from turnover. So just, again, that perceived pressure really dominating at the contest.
Johnson to Mooney, the first kicks they've had tonight. Pod still without a kick. Otten still without a kick. Burns still without a kick. Johnson, well, it looked a bit high. Bartel gets it forward into the 50. Here is Podsiadly with him Brown. Mooney and Reid. Stokes looking for a free.
He's back. Just here. Wasn't high, it was in the back.
Well, actually, Pods has taken a vow of abstinence. He hasn't had a kick or a hand pass tonight.
He kicked 3 in a hurry by this time last week, hadn't he? Now Stokes has kicked 5 goals in the finals so far. Rather famously kicked 3 in that prelim final in 07 against Collingwood, when they just got home, and he's bending it, but it's hit the post. Well, they've got to take every little sniff they can get tonight.
Averaging a couple of goals a game against Collingwood since 2007, Matthew Stokes. He's been one of the players who has been a spark for them every time Geelong have played Collingwood.
Johnson kicks short of the wing, off hands taken by Ablett, dances around, goes to Ling, to Kelly, 70 metres out, long down towards full forward, over the back, Mooney got a hand to it, knocked it down in front. Chapman running out of space, and the ball is out of bounds. Got to manufacture something from here. 50 to 20 suddenly is manageable. Still very tricky. No margin for error now. Ottens tries to knock it down. In goes Turvey. Wellingham's over the football, hurriedly onto the boot. Kicks it out towards half back. Pendlebury gets a good shepherd from McCapper. Looks short, goes short. Dawes has taken it at the interchange gates.
He's a creative forward, Dawes, isn't he? A little bit like Mooney's been over the years for...
Just about to say that played that really well, because Scarlett was sitting back and Dawes had to do the double back lead to get the short pass.
He's quite happy to come up and assist, as Mooney's done for years at Geelong. Wellingham. Well, everything's happening now. Not sure if he absolutely meant it for McCaffer. Didak's in a good spot for Didak. Well, he's tricky here, and then goes for goal and kicks it right to within about 2 metres, and Cloak takes another mark. Well, Harry Taylor, Australian fullback, he's having a month that he'd rather forget, I reckon.
Well, I don't think he was on Cloak a few minutes ago. I mean, he's sometimes Lonergan has taken Cloak. I'm not even sure then whether he was just covering him.
I think they did switch it in the first quarter. I think he did go to him, didn't he?
Surprisingly, he wasn't about 3 minutes ago, but I think the Geelong defence is all over the shop in terms of matchups.
Well, This is a good distance for everybody, and Cloak gets his second, and 56 to 14.
That's the rest of the Cloak clan.
And that's just the two pairs of bodies under the long hold. But isn't he quick on his feet, Didak, though?
Yeah.
I mean, no one, including his teammates, knew where he was going to go here. We'll just have a look at just how light on the feet he is. McCaffer gave him the ball.
He's come from a long way back too. Ran past Corey Enright on that occasion. But the thing is, there's been a lot of numbers, but it was a one-on-one contest.
There's a bit of play in the centre of the ground there. I reckon Jolly all of a sudden thought, oh, it's 2010. Don't bump.
Yep.
Because if he'd have bumped, that would have been a suspension. Good decision.
2 inside 50s for 2 goals for the Magpies in this term. On the way down, Brown, Johnson, Ablett, Joel Corey. Very high ball, get under that one. Maxwell comes hard, but it gets behind. In trouble, ball could have been taken high. Gets the free kick.
Let him up, let him up. Thank you.
The two really big games for Collingwood, round 19 in the qualifying final. Luke Balls led the tackles again, putting his head over the ball, not obviously committing the tackle, but putting his head right where it hurts.
Beams, Luke Ball playing his 10th final, his 3rd preliminary final. Brown in the back pocket. Ball runs on, gets it again. Good hard running. Moments ago, Haddock at centre half back. Hugs the boundary with a kick. Well done by Johnson. Hasn't he resurrected his career?
Sure has. He had a very, very good season. He missed that prelim way back in 07 with the suspensions, and now good effort by Cloak. Selwood, who's had little impact. Richo.
Well, the Pies have obviously had a look at the first final Geelong played against St Kilda, where they took so many marks inside the forward 50. They're really stretching them tonight. They're swapping Jolly and Brown at full forward, and they're going with the 3 talls.
And Hawkins wins that tap, and Selwood out of play.
It's interesting. We know that Collingwood are a mile in front, 7 goals in front of the scoreboard, but they've still had 31 tackles to 24. So the defensive pressure is still Collingwood's way.
Tossed in. Hawkins on the way down. Pendlebury. Hawkins battles on. Umpire Ryan calls for it.
Now, Richo, sorry, Dennis, Richo was just talking about the forward structure. They're still enabling themselves to spread the Geelong defenders, which is the key to breaking down, because they love to help out in the air.
Brown this time decisively down to Swan around the corner. High up and under from McCaffer. In front, Didak lines up and misses this time. Just hangs it out to the right. He's looking so dangerous, Alan Didak, up to 13 possessions now, and Michael Malthouse in his 46th final looks on.
13 disposals to Didak halfway through the second quarter. If he has 30 disposals, Collingwood usually win easily because he's so good with ball in hands.
He's had 3 shots on goal as well.
Yeah. So
the Cats been again suffocated in the back 50.
Turnover.
And Brown, he's a revelation, isn't he? Good tackle. Well done by Johnson. Bartel gets down low. Collingwood have been winning these contests, though.
He is amazing, Lee Brown. The value he's giving Collingwood as their backup ruckman and as a key forward has just been terrific.
Well, he's added that dimension, Tim.
Tom, Stevie Johnson's pushed into the midfield again. We saw that late last week. What's his engine like?
He's actually got a really elite engine. He's probably in the beep test of 15.5 or 16, but obviously had some injury troubles with his ankles and hasn't spent time there, but he can run the game out no problem.
Is it an indication of a bit of a desperation when he pushes up into the midfield, though? Like, I want the ball in my hands, so I want to go, gets out of the forward line?
Steve Johnson's a footballer. He just loves getting his hands on the footy sometimes.
I think the song says it all at the moment. Sort of a song, chant.
Never heard this at a game before, this sort of atmosphere and the chant like that.
I usually save that for the last 10 minutes of the winning grand final.
Yep.
Terrific stuff. Long way to go, 57-14. Not even halfway through this second term. Brown again. Follows up his own initial work, spills out of the pack. Corey got a bad bounce. Selwood needs to get cracking. For not the first time that call this season. Selwood taking the free kick, left half back. They need to get a move on. Selwood drives it long towards half forward. Podsiadly tracks the football. Brown's got it. Podsiadly takes him down. We'll have a ball up.
Isn't it great faith from Coach Mick Malthouse to run with Brown? Preston Giacomo was apparently only a day away from playing, but he said, no, I'm going to back the young fella, and he's had a good month of footy and certainly doing the jobs on Podsiadly at the moment.
Hawkins wins that tap. Blair's good tackle on Varco. Well done, Kelly, to get rid of Johnson. Pendlebury's hands were terrific. To Brown, to Swan. And then Swan so balanced. Kicks to half forward. Taylor back to Swan. And then Swan off that one-step lovely kick. Timed it beautifully to Cloak.
Beams.
Cloak, such a target. There is Beams yet. Magnificent kick, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Just was able to drift forward from the initial contest, unmanned.
Here's the marches here.
Swan's ability
and one interesting thing, there's been no match-up for Ling. Brad, tonight they've had no specific match-up to Ling, so he's now playing in the forward line. I just think he's one of the organisers around the middle. Tom, I've always thought.
Yeah, I do think that. I really like Ling onto Swan, at least so he's round the contest. He's a big body, and mate, that you've got to win the contest against Collingwood. You've got to win the contested situation.
He's kicked 25 goals this year, the youngster. He's 7 goals, 10 though from set shots. That one's looking okay, straightening up. And Collingwood get to 10.
Just back on to Cameron Lingley, I think. The round 19 game, Ling went to Pendlebury, and what Pendlebury did really well was drag him away from the stoppage. And I reckon that's a win. And you said Cameron Ling's the captain of the side, so he organises the structures. But on top of that, he's got a big physical presence, so he can drive the ball in. By taking him away and playing him as a defensive forward, you're obviously losing a big body in the corner there. I'm no expert, but that looks all right.
Yeah, it was good. We mentioned Cameron Ling. You'd think there'd be a match-up somewhere in the Collingwood midfield to keep him in the middle of the ground.
Selwood overran the football. Hawkins straight to Wellingham. Straight to Corey. He's a centre-half back, Joel Corey. 63 plays 14. Ablett has to go here. Almost took the mark. Wonderful recovery. Gets the hand pass to Johnson. Johnson to Chapman. With their problems when they spread, no one shepherds. And in this sort of environment, it's very difficult. Corey, hard against the boundary line. Bounces the ball across to Johnson. Johnson, too clever by half. Went looking for Ablett. Stolen away by Pendlebury. Swan charges through midfield. Died up well. He knew the man was coming. Tried to knock it to his own advantage. Taylor, who gave the contest initially, is bumped on the head by Thomas and will get the free kick.
Yeah, he's light on his feet, tied up, but I think he had to hold his body under that mark, and he would have got a free kick, I suspect, for the late turn-up.
Okay. To Collingwood. Beautiful. Harry.
Interchange breach.
It's an interchange breach. It's a free kick to Dale Thomas.
Against Geelong.
It's an interchange breach. It's a free kick. 50.
Right to the goal line.
Yeah.
Right to the goal line.
Okay. So it's for the interchange breach, all right?
Is that the old, if it rains, of course?
It is raining.
This is it here, the interchange infringement.
Yep. Oh. The rules are there.
Was that because he went the wrong side?
Went the wrong side. Yeah, came out to the left. Didn't go through the gate.
How careless is that?
Thank you, mate.
So Thomas, after all of that little side step, kicks the goal.
It was an interchange breach. So the free kick was called, but then there was an interchange breach. So where the footy is, it's a free kick and 50, all right?
We saw it in the first quarter. We just watch it here. Corey and Wright just stepping to the left of the line.
Oh, yeah, the one step to the left.
But, I mean, it just goes to show that was the initial free kick which Harry Taylor earned but got reversed. But we saw it in the first quarter, and the 50-metre brought it obviously close to the goal. But when the free kick or the ball is situated close to goal, it makes an absolute dead set certainty of it.
I reckon there'll be about 50,000 Collingwood supporters leaving soon to queue up for grand final tickets. Get in the queue first. Gee, it's a big margin. I mean, Geelong, we know, can do wonderful things, but that's a big, big margin.
The accuracy of 11 goals from 14 scoring shots is really, really important.
Jolly wins it down, stolen by Ling. shrugs a would-be tackler off, kicks inside the forward 50, hangs a long time in the air. Otten's got a hand to it. Burns paddles it to his own advantage. Maxwell waiting, took him down. Terrific stuff. Ball up.
I think that point we mentioned, Tom Ling has gone into the middle, and I think he's just going to take Pendlebury ball. Might be a hard night for him. He's going to have a lot of opponents going through.
Well, he followed to the bench there, but now he's picking up Luke Ball as he's come on. So he's trying to orchestrate a direct matchup.
Bounce right on the numbers on the 50. Ottens tries to flick it down. Willingham miscued. Ablett has been terrific. Burns, Varco, hard against the boundary line, pulls it back. He was across the boundary line.
Just out.
And actually, that's a good result as far as Geelong were concerned, because it was 2-on-1 in the square, and Brown was going to finish up with that footy.
Seen so many 2-on-1s, aren't we? Black and whites everywhere. Varco busy early. Well, I guess the only thing, Bomber, they've been on the receiving end, so many other coaches from you over the last 4 years, but it's an unfamiliar feeling. Johnson getting it. So Hunt getting rid of Brown that time. Inside, that's where they have problems, isn't they? Having real trouble moving the ball with any authority. And the kick to 1 on a 2 there. Collingwood again with numbers. O'Brien. His reflexes are so good. The handball down low. Shaw. Well, he just took his eye off it. He felt the Ablett tackle coming. Ball didn't know. To Beams. To Maxwell. He's got a man wide. Thomas will see him. They build now. This will be an interesting one-on-one. Side bottoms won it so far. Well, on he goes. This would be a goal, wouldn't it? He's missed though.
The half-back line for Collingwood has just been amazingly important. The structures they set up has just been
fantastic.
Yeah.
But aren't they making Geelong look slow? And I think that's one of the problems if Geelong haven't got the footy. They are a little bit slow, just pure leg speed.
I was going to say Milburn appeared to be exactly that, didn't he?
Yeah.
That was almost career-defining as Milburn tried to chase him. Sidebottom knew he was on a winner from the moment the ball came out there and wanted to make it a race.
Their springboard, their offensive springboards have all come from really strong defensive structures.
On his knees, Ablett. Hurriedly down towards half forward. Maxwell followed it back, let it bounce. Podsiadly gets a hand pass away, taken by Mooney. Stokes is through, kicks from 35. Maxwell says he touched it. Doesn't matter. Well, it does, because Burns has marked it. It was offline.
You happy with your mark? Definite mark. Come back here now.
Burns coming up for his first kick, but he's been active. 6 hand passes.
No, wait. Right, here's the mark.
Well, obviously Geelong players think he won't get tackled here because nobody has gone down.
Another 2 meters. Now you're going to have to come around half a metre. Perfect.
Look at that. All Collingwood around him. Had the man on the mark, stifled it. Well, it doesn't matter. All hypothetical. Burns walks around and kicks the goal.
Your basic disposal numbers aren't meaning much, are they, really?
No.
I mean, it's equal numbers in terms of quantity, what, 135 to 148.
Efficiency's evened up.
One side's 9 goals in front. It's just Collingwood, when they got the ball, can run and move it and carry it. And when Geelong get the ball, it just seems like the Collingwood swarm just prevents them from doing anything terribly creative.
Still handballing more, 62 kicks to 86 handballs for Geelong.
Well, they'll take anything at the moment, the Cats.
Yeah, just got to keep trying to hang in there, see if they can get another goal or two, just to try and just get within that 5 or 6 at half time and launch from there.
Well, in this famous run,
High contact. Everyone stop.
in this famous run, they've been able to kick goals in a hurry, haven't they? That's what they're going to have to do at some stage tonight to make any impression. Otten's been quiet, goes to full forward. Podsiadly at the back. Johnson running on, fell over, and a boundary throw in.
The difference is the Collingwood back 6, just man on man, look like they're in control, don't they?
I think. I mean,
this is the man they have to try and get going there. Easy said and done, but he's the one that has to try and get some goal scoring going.
Well, there he is, and can't quite get clear. A handball, clever tap. Now Johnson.
Thomas under pressure, met by Varco. Ablett on the 50. Varco, Kelly. Oh, terrific. Thomas across the boot. And the ball ricochets out of bounds.
Steve Johnson's building his way into the game in the possession count, but he still only had the 1 kick.
Yeah.
He kicks goals. That's what he does. I mean, This is Collingwood all night.
What about those expressions in the crowd? They're already daring to dream. Thomas in trouble. Ditto Johnson taken down. Umpire calls for it.
Thanks, James. Room behind
So
me,
bounce
please,
right
James.
on the 50. And Brown doing a lot of the heavy lifting at the moment. Going so well. Jolly is being held in reserve. Brown, the boot to ball. Johnson, Ablett finds a way through. Terrific. Back to Johnson. Johnson misses. So Ablett now is up to 24 possessions.
Chapman, the next best at 14, really needs some help in the clinch. Even on that occasion, he was the one who broke it and fed the ball out to Steve Johnson.
So Ablett 24 disposals. Gee, Geelong without Ablett.
Oh.
4 clearances.
Incredible amount.
Quarter of the clearances.
Thomas done some good work. And then belting forward. He was compared with Main Waring today by Dean Lady, which I reckon was a great comparison. The way he can work in the back half and the forward half. Wojcinski, good umpiring. McCaffrey with him. Handball coming back from Ottens to Taylor to Ablett. And now to Scarlett, because good switch on here to Corey. Got to use it, Geelong. Looks up, nowhere to go, has to backtrack. Symbolic of what's happening tonight. Enright. And then Enright with a careful, slow kick to Burns. Still a couple of kicks away from goal.
Just saw on the screen before, you're right, Dennis. Nick Maxwell sitting right in the hole.
Yep. Joel Corey had to do that U-turn. Podsiadly almost. It falls in front. Kelly off balance. Johnson surrounded. Still going. Johnson hooks towards goal. How will it bounce? Well, took a Collingwood bounce. It came back and hit Reed. Sometimes they run on, not that time.
Just been interesting watching Maxwell's positioning. He just keeps getting in perfect spot. Just either blocking the hole, getting their third up to spoil. He's just controlling that back third.
It was a great example then. Joel Corey had the ball in the middle of the ground, wanted to go forward, but all he saw was Nick Maxwell sitting right in the hole.
Ball, well, in 2 minds. It's the opposite pocket. Now Reed, emerging young defender. Didak, nobody near him. Shaw's taken off around the outer side. Well, that's setting a task for Shaw. He can't get there and be the third man, or can he? Cloak's won the battle. Cloak swings it across the body. The mark is taken by Scarlett. Well, the kick negated their advantage. Shaw was streaming down the outer side. If the kick could have brought Cloak closer to Shaw, they could have goaled. Meantime, across half back. Milburn too slow. Goes back to Corey. In trouble. Otten's run down. Brilliant stuff. Hand pass from Blair. McCaffrey. Swan snaps. Goal!
Well, I think there's probably a few Geelong supporters are sitting in the stands and saying, how come Milbourne's in and Mackie's out? I mean, he's just at the moment hasn't been able to go the tempo of the game, Milburn, and that particular, I mean, he didn't know anyone was on his back. But it was just indicative of the speed that Collingwood are playing and the lack of speed that Geelong are responding with.
He plays the percentages so well, Swan, doesn't he?
Oh, fantastic. But really the chase down tackle on Milbourne, and he has looked like he's lacked a yard tonight, Milbourne.
And how many times have Geelong handballed the ball backwards and had the ball taken off them and a goal scored? It's been a common factor in this match. It's a remarkable scoreline, isn't it? 12-4 to 3-4 with plenty of time before half-time. Scarlett had to fish for it. Taylor worked that pretty well, Harry. Played it very well, and then with a left foot. Cut off though by Johnson. Has to recover in a hurry. Geelong had numbers for a moment. Cloak's been good. O'Brien's been terrific. Arches the back. That one smothered off the boot. Taylor, Varco works it. Wojcinski. Oh, interesting. Johnson back to Wojcinski. Just high and hoping. Podsiadly can take a contested mark. Not quite this time short. Terrific. Coming back to make 2-on-1. Didak uses his body beautifully. Stuck out his bottom and took the mark.
What the Geelong forwards were doing then Travis Vark on this occasion really hunting up the ground, and Heath Shaw was just able to sit back the whole time, creating the outnumber again. Affected the spoil on James Podgiadli. Rebound.
Alan Didak, very much a fully fledged star, goes in short for Pendlebury and fixed the kick, trying to soccer off the ground. Shaw, Varco got boot to ball, not 15. Ling, Bartel, Johnson too slow. Tooby got there, pinged him. Down goes Stokes.
2-on-1 again.
One of the things you depend on if you're going to play back in defence, say as Maxwell's doing, is the tracing pressure upfield, so that the opposition are always under pressure, which means you can read the ball off the boot, and Collingwood are doing that tremendously well.
Golsack knocked it down. Hitting the pack hard was Swan. Swung there was Beams. Golsack goes back after it. Thomas, boot to ball, moved about 5 metres, but effective. Bounced to Tooby. Golsack. Geelong trying to match the pressure in there. Bartel.
O'Brien almost, but off he goes. He gallops away. Finds side bottom. And now Beams running. They were their 2 recruits for last year, weren't they? Beams and side bottom. Now regulars. Careful kick. And Taylor's had a good 10 minutes, I reckon.
Well, that turnover there from Collingwood, we've spoken about them getting the loose man. That was just a one-on-one contest. Harry O'Brien actually won the direct contest in Shannon Burns, so they're not only outnumbering, but they're winning the ball in the one-on-one situation.
So Otten's jolly. Otten's just pushes Jolly forward, and then Johnson gets back. Pendlebury crafted so much of that opening quarter, didn't he, Pendlebury? Kicks to about 30 metres. Cloak, Taylor, McCaffer, check sides it, and well, Lee Brown's been the only one that's been able to manage one of those so far tonight.
We saw that stoppage on the half-forward flank for Collingwood. While that happened, Maxwell is a spare extra defender. Geelong are never going to get through with that setup.
Little 1-2 there, not intended. Corey and Scarlett. Kick came out over the head of Maxwell. Taken by Ball, measures the kick to Dawes. Dawes has got it 40 metres out.
Maxwell again just set up.
He is just playing such a magnificent. It reminds me of what Luke Hodge did in the 2008 grand final, and all Tom, what you did in a couple of those Geelong grand final. Just controlling the back half of the ground by knowing where to position, when to go, when to hold space, when to man up. Fantastic general back there.
So Dawes, very effective tonight. From what we've seen this season, he's a pretty reliable kick at goal. And he comes, and he's got this one. Puts it through. Well, start thinking about the banner for the grand final.
I think earlier in the call, I might have almost made up a term as visual pressure. So when you've got the ball as a Geelong player in your back half and you look up, we'll see it here. You can see Nick Maxwell just lurking around the 50 there. Matthew Scarlett wanted to go down the line. Now Joel Corey basically has no choice but to go down the line. There's a turnover. It creates that pressure. And then when there is a turnover, there's more often than not there's a free man someone, because the other team, Geelong in this instance, is on the attack and pushing forward.
Had 11 goal scorers in the opening half.
Swan and Didak. Swan 19 disposals. Didak 15.
A couple of the Collingwood players, including Medhurst, that didn't quite force their way in tonight. I think if you're not in tonight, you might have a problem next week. Even Presty might have a problem. Thomas. Ball. Pendlebury. Kicks to about 30 metres. Roving at Blair. Riding at Blair. And then hooking back, and the bounce. No, just missing by a couple of metres.
And a lot of falling over going on by those Collingwood players. They just hold their feet so well. He's got the low centre of gravity, being short, but just doesn't get knocked over.
Well, he's been the surprise pack, I guess, Blair, in the second half of the season.
Real confidence from his game last week, I think.
As we said, Bruce, and you mentioned to me pre-game, they've got 7 players who haven't played 50 games.
Yep.
That's an incredible amount of inexperience for a side that's 10 goals in front, almost half-time prelim final.
They've got 6 players between 20 and 50, and the only Geelong player who hasn't played 50 is 29 years of age.
Selwood kicked it in the direction of Mooney. Stokes, a hand pass over his shoulder. Kelly goes to Hunt, broadens things into the path of Ablett. Ablett looks inside the forward 50, intended for Johnson, spilt the mark. Ling's got the crumb, runners alongside, elects to kick. Ling's kick is offline again.
Talking about Collingwood's youth, when you're a young side and you get a sniff of confidence, it is a massive rush. And the Geelong side in 2007, when they went on a really strong run, just got that. The confidence grew, and as a young player, he just went on and on and on. And so many similarities between the Geelong side of 07 and the Collingwood side now.
We feel like tonight we're seeing the new model, aren't we? The old one's been replaced before our very eyes in this first half.
Superseded, Bruce.
Not yet.
Who was that? Tom.
So ball.
Get your checkbook, Tom. Just come over here and sit next to me for a moment.
Reed Brown being held, arms around him. Played stopped, bring it back.
See, whoever was his idea that Lee Brown would be a good fit at Collingwood, take a bow.
Yeah.
Thanks, Cameron.
Tuvey. He's another bit of an unsung hero, Tuvey. He's played 46 consecutive matches.
Oh, terrific.
There's a sung hero.
And against the player, against Joel Selwood, who's a fantastic body player. That just shows you how good and how confident Swan is.
Selwood just 9 possessions. Swan drives inside the forward 50 off hands at the back of the pack. It bounces out of bounds in front of McCapper. Swan up to 20 possessions now.
You don't see Selwood out position, out body too often.
Get him up. Don't lock him. Don't lock.
Tossed in. Jolly down behind. Just bad luck there. He couldn't get through. Ball. A kick comes from Wellingham. It's offline and goes through for a minor score. So approaching half-time. Collingwood have put on a clinic. Michael Malthouse appears to be marching to his 6th grand final.
Hunt.
Oh, there's Woody.
He'll be the only coach in the AFL era to get to that number. What a remarkable opening half, a revealing hour of football here in the big build-up to the prelim final, and Collingwood lead by 10 goals. It's 85 to 23. Yes, it's 85 to 23. Friday night footy.
Well, Collingwood's forward line pressure has been outstanding again tonight. That's been a hallmark of their improvement this season. This is part of what we saw in that first half. Just the tackling, the harassing, the pressure. This causes a turnover eventually. Just watch this, another tackle again by McCaffer, another tackle in here by Ball. Eventually they get the ball free. They've got the runners on the outside, a goal to Swan. 15 to 6 turnovers in that part of the ground to Collingwood in the first half. Richo, they've really pulled apart this Geelong defence again.
Yeah, they have, like they did against St Kilda. Marks inside 50. They've been smashed in that area. They've been able to separate them and put the score on the board.
Start of the second half, then it seems Collingwood marching to a grand final. Swan playing the same tune. Boots inside the forward 50. Awkward bounce down there. Beams did well. Took it cleanly. Got boot to ball. Pendlebury tackled by Kelly. Stood up in the tackle. And the umpire will ball it up in the pocket. Umpire Ryan. All Collingwood tonight. Virtuoso display. The only obstacle has been this man. Gary Ablett emerges with the football, up to 26 possessions now. Ling, not his best night, shows a lot of the football to Brown. He fell over, but the ball likes Brownie tonight. It bounced back in his direction. He tracks it. Thomas picks it up. Wojcinski hit him. That Beams goes in, spills across towards Cloak, dances on the line, comes back to Maxwell. Didak tracks it to the boundary line. Did he go out? He did.
Thanks, Alan.
So Presty there. I just wonder the way Mick Malthouse spoke on game day last night, that he was so close to playing. Leon Davis, of course, that hammy wouldn't be feeling great right now, would it? Be nice being in the forward pocket tonight.
Luke Ball's free kick. Luke Ball's free kick.
So Ball, who did play in that magnificent grand final last year, but played on the losing team against Geelong and the Saints.
Well, this is the area of the ground where you're going to kick a lot of behinds if you keep having shots from out wide, but the Collingwood have actually flowed more directly for the majority of the game.
Kicked a goal in the second quarter from straight in front, basically, from a fair distance out. This one much more difficult. Right on 50 as he kicks. He hugs the line. And the angle always tight. Didn't miss in the end by a lot, but never going to get there. So one of 11 goal scorers, Beams, in that opening half for the Pies.
So Milburn to bring it in. The idea is simply have dried up for the Cats. Milburn told to play on, drives it outside the 50. Bartel punched away by Jolly, roving the pack. Didak, ball out of bounds. Enright flips it across to Bartel, not in time.
You can just see on the kick in there by Darren, he didn't want to go down the line. It wasn't the natural play. They'd usually chip short and then try and bring the ball back through the corridor, but went for the long stock standard option.
Jolly had to run to the football. Enright falling down. Bartel, Milburn, Ablett. Kelly sold into trouble. Beat the first tackler, but not the second. Wellingham got him. Didak grabs the football, snaps, and is off target. Well, the tackling has been the thing tonight. The Magpies have morphed into 22 Venus flytraps.
And they don't let the ball out. I think he could have made more than that, Didak. I know he kicks miracle goals, but...
And Geelong with a bad case of Venus envy. On the outer side, here's Scarlett. Loops a hand pass over the top and it bounces out of bounds.
This inferred pressure is just unbelievable.
One of the things I reckon Geelong have to think about doing, well, it's probably too late anyways, but going long down the middle. Because Collingwood hem you in so well in your back 50. And if you go wide to get hemmed in even further, you might as well actually be trying to get numbers in the middle of the ground.
Ottens and Bartel together. Varco, Ablett, Ling down low. Now Bartel to Johnson. Little 1-2s, and Bartel gets it forward. Varco and Johnson both in the end going to ground.
Terrific technique there by Ben Johnson. That was one of those examples. It wasn't a long ball coming in where he ran with the flight of the ball, but just took the body of Travis Varco, although the ball wasn't as high. Terrific technique.
Can the Cats make any inroads here? Varco, Ablett, Selwood couldn't quite, and then Ottens hassled out of it really in the end.
Guys, thanks. Jump off him. Squeeze up, ready. Thanks, Brad. Thanks, Brad.
Struggled this year, the big fella. It's been such a key to Geelong's success in September over the last few years. He hasn't played a lot of footy in those last 3 seasons. Beautiful hands, Shaw on the end of it.
Drives inside the forward 50. Missed there by Cloak. Bounces to Scarlett. Scarlett to Enright. Wheels around. Will go out wide to Bartel. Measures the kick well. Bartel takes it. Right half back. Short one. Ablett, his 30th possession. He's played a terrific game. Well, was that a possession? Not sure. Selwood just stopped. He's taken down brilliantly by Johnson. Bartel butters up again. Not his best kick. Awkward bounce for Shaw. Wanted it more. Came back, found it. Drives it out towards the wing. Dawes comes up. Harry took a look. Dawes has got the football. Well, one of those nights tonight. Short one. Ball inside the forward 50. Awkward bounce for Bartel. Didak slips it across to Pendlebury. On the left foot, 1 of 2. They queue up. That was actually a conjure line inside the forward 50. Shaw in front. Didak, the little shimmy behind. 50 metres going against Ling.
I've dealt with it. I've dealt with it.
Oh, it's getting ugly.
I've dealt with it. Wait. Hey, what are you going to me? Okay. What are you going to I'll just show two of you. Yeah. I've dealt with it. So don't, but you got right next to the worry about. So
on the goal line. Swan puts it through.
I think it was Ling and Brown. We'll probably get a look at it a bit later on, but I mean, if you're Collingwood in this situation, you don't even buy into any of these sort of tactics. You just keep putting the goals on the scoreboard. But
made probably a probable goal, 90% goal into 100% goal.
to see it here. Might be a case to answer for, too.
Don't think you're worried about missing
I don't think you're worried about missing next week, but that's the kind of thing they're on about.
So, 12 months, a long time in footy. Geelong beat Collingwood by 73 points. In the prelim last year, they trailed by 70 as we speak. Swan's second goal's his 100th in league footy, and he's plays his 150th next week in the grand final. Brown, well done. Mooney back to Burns to Mooney. Was it in? Yep. And Mooney goes to the top of the square. Podsiadly, no. And Tuvey and O'Brien with the two flying.
Tuvey out Mark O'Brien. That's what they're going.
But he uses Harry's strength, which is his running power. Swan and Enright, a couple of All-Australians, Enright for the third consecutive time, and Swan for the second. But I reckon both Ross Lyon there, had Rodney Eade would know who they're playing next week. They would have worked that out a fair while ago. They'll be having a good look at the black and white.
Daunting prospect as things stand. Jolly decisively. Pendlebury had the run of it. Well done by Enright. Stood his ground. Varco, Chapman, Bartel hard against the line, pulls it back. Ablett surrounded, coming over the top. It was fisted away by Brown. Down in front of the pack, it's grabbed by Johnson, and his kick is wayward. Just sneaks it through. In fact, it was Selwood. Just sneaks it through for a behind.
Couple more, Gary, couple more.
Been so impressed all night with the Collingwoods. The halfbacks, we saw Tuvey outmark Harry O'Brien before, but even the strong spell.
Well, they both could have marked it. That was the point. They were both in position to mark it.
What a beautiful kick coming out by Ben Johnson. Onto the chest of side bottom. Goes to Swan. How the heck did he get out of that? Kicks long down towards full forward. End to end, McCaffrey. Superb. Behind at one end, and in the twinkling of an eye, at the other end, Collingwood will kick a goal.
Just outread the ball. Josh Hunt really got caught behind it. This was probably not their typical style of playing, bringing the back through the middle. But what it enabled, you just see at the top of your screen there, Dane Swan be able to wheel and go and kick long to McCaffrey in a one-on-one situation. He gained real confidence from his game in round 19 against Geelong, where he had score, assists and tackles inside 50.
What about that movement from Swan?
To bring the ball back in.
He just made Enright. Lost him completely.
If McCaffrey gets this, he'll become the 12th goal kicker for Collingwood tonight, and he puts it through.
It's about now you start thinking there should be a mercy rule.
Both sides would probably take it, I think, Lee. I think the Collingwood players would be pretty happy not to play the rest of the game out as well.
Yeah, I think both sides would probably take it. There's really hard to think Geelong can do anything but play out the game, and Collingwood have got a lot to lose if they lose anyone through injury or something.
Just read the ball better. I mean, when you're a defender in that situation, you're obviously under the pump, but McCaffrey kept his eyes on the ball from the outset. Lee commented before, it was the movement from Swan, just the shimmy away from Corey Enright, and drove the ball in long.
So the empire crumbling before our very eyes here. You just wonder the fallout after tonight. Ling's kick to half forward. Maxwell wins a one-on-one with Varco, and then belts it forward. Cloak and Taylor, and that ball going out. Taylor building it over the line.
The kick to handball ratio has really impressed me too. Collingwood 138 kicks, only the 64 hand passes. They run at about 1.4 per game, but right up on the 2 mark, really dominating there.
Hawkins doesn't hold his feet, but Brown makes a rear blue and kicks the ball out on the 4.
Geelong could change in 12 months. This time 12 months ago.
Well, Cats won by 73
That's what I mean. Geelong were the dominant side.
Well, Geelong have got 4 changes from that team, and Collingwood have got 7, and they're pretty good ins for Collingwood. The replacements from last year have had big years, and none bigger than this bloke.
Jump out, jump out.
And that's when you're confident, when you're flying for the ball a couple deep, especially in defence.
Well, Jolly and Brown have become a formidable pair, haven't they? Brown with a long ball.
They'll compete in the pocket. Big leap Cloak. Falling to the ground, Hunt looks for the boundary line. No respite there, though. Side bottom. McCaffrey taken down strongly by Hunt. Trying to find a way through Milburn. Down goes Kelly, tackled by Beams, and we'll have a ball up. Hey.
Well, I'll tell you what, Dennis, they've got some stars in the stands. They're Geelong supporters of Metallica, boys.
I know. Well, they made a mistake. How long have they been Geelong supporters, Tom?
Half a footy, they might change.
Yes.
Love black and white, I would have thought, Metallica.
They wouldn't like this noise from the fans of Collingwood, although probably they can't hear it. This kick will take place from about 10 metres out directly in front. Wellingham took the clever mark.
He just moved. He just pretty unlucky, I suppose. Enright, as soon as he jumped, his foot left the ground. He got no downward balance, and Wellingham just leaned into him. Easy chest mark, 10 metres out.
Well, heavy metal, heavy scoring. Collingwood just rolling down that hill, and the grand final is waiting for them.
It's really hard to work out what you do from a Geelong point of view. Bring the ball in. You've got to win the ball at the contest, but as Lee mentioned earlier, try something different, bring it along. Maybe instead of wrapping yourself around the boundary, instead of being hemmed up in that boundary, you may as well go to the contest, back yourself in. But the mercy rule would be certainly be applicable at the moment. And when you take your feet off the ground like that, you'll get pushed out. Good mark by Wellingham.
Had the ankle injury a couple of weeks ago, got back, kicked a couple. So those marks inside 50, that was a problem for Geelong against the Saints.
Well, remember, St Kilda had 16 in a half, so Geelong's defence is getting marked against.
Hawkins won the tap, and then Ablett has to hurry the kick. Johnson's read it best, couldn't quite get to the mark, tried to get to the fall of it, takes one or two on, and then a brilliant little bit of play, but the handball to nobody, and now Wellingham. He got some space, Johnson, but couldn't deliver, and Johnny takes a strong mark.
No.
Play on!
Those couple of grand finals for the Swans. He's about to add a third. The kick to centre wing. Enright struggled tonight. Thomas shows the footy.
Dawes looks inside the forward 50, sets it up for Beams, waiting behind side bottom. Beams dives on top of it. Kelly's got an arm in there, tackling them both. Takes side bottom down eventually, and the ball up.
I've always thought there's a great relationship between hope and energy. And now that Geelong have lost hope really for this game, they've lost energy. And it's a good example. Enright's just gone to ground.
Beams again outside the 50, wins this football. Down towards full forward. Milburn showing courage, went back, took the mark. Plays on. Stokes rarely sighted in the back pocket. Scarlett. Bartell, half volley. Ablett been terrific. Bartell, Ablett. Just get the feeling Ablett steeled himself for something special tonight. Maybe a farewell performance. Against the odds, he's battling, but Didak's got the football. Screws it back, and the mark is taken down there by Milburn. Geelong going south, and maybe Gary's going north.
Will be the talking point after the match, that's for sure, from Geelong's point of view. And all of us, I think. Selwood short. Burns, good kick. Johnson. And then Johnson goes to that one-on-one. Mooney, Reed's been terrific. They've all been terrific. Corey, Stokes should nail it. He's 35 metres out. He's got it. It's a goal.
It's a bit of a bad way there.
It's true. Guys. Leave it. Leave it. It was in the side. Clear it out. Guys, do not give one away now, Ken. Do not give one away now. Do not give one away now.
It's a time for control, particularly if in the black and white jerseys.
Ken, jump out.
You know that Geelong are going to be a bit frustrated, a bit angry.
They might see that as a bit of a moral victory, not a moral victory for the Geelong boys, but to go down swinging and get a suspension out from a Collingwood player. It's a good hit there by Goldsack.
Up to the bounce, opportunity for side bottom. Wellingham running in the wrong direction. Ablett again. He's been terrific. What is he up to now? 33 possessions.
A lot of touch of the footy, isn't it, for a side that has pretty much been denied the ball by the opposition.
It's the only man who's looked comfortable under this sort of pressure. Joel Corey's kick is marked by Maxwell. He goes wide. Coming back Stokes. Rematch with Goldsack. Plays the ball out towards the boundary. Joel Corey comes across on the angle, almost a throw. Stokes in the grasp. Varco's away. Runs the outer side. Kicks inside the forward 50. Mooney completely out of sorts. Leading back. It's taken by Brown. Gives it to O'Brien.
Magnificent defence again, and now Wellingham. 27 minutes since Geelong's last goal before Stokes. The closest they've had goals tonight are 16 minutes apart.
Move it on.
So just nothing has happened. 4 goals in 2 3/4 quarters of footy as Dawes leads up the ground so well.
They work really hard forward of the footy, Collingwood, to create the space for Dawes to move into.
He's a neat player, isn't he? Kicks the ball back to centre wing. Lonergan, who we've hardly seen, to Kelly. Varco running hard. He's going to go sideways to Stokes and then decides to go on his own and then caresses the ball to fall forward. It's a good kick. And Pods, well, for the first time, really, we're going to call him tonight.
The other first time was Travis Varco tearing through the middle of the ground. It sort of loon we spoke about Wojcinski and Varco as the players who could break the lines for the Geelong. That's what it looks like. That's what they would have liked to have seen plenty more of. But Collingwood just been absolutely supreme in denying that run and also cutting the ball off in the Geelong's forward 50.
I think for a lot of the season we thought Podsiadly might be the difference, taking Geelong to another premiership maybe early in the year. He looked the new guy that they needed, but it certainly hasn't happened tonight. And leaning back there, his first kick in the match, scores a behind.
Just a weight of numbers. Geelong only the 26 inside 50s in 2.5 quarters. They average about 57, 58, so well down, just highlighting the dominance from Collingwood through the middle of the ground, denying them with their box press that they just enforce so well.
Shaw runs it up. High ball towards the outer side. 3 on 2 for Collingwood, and one of the two takes the mark on his chest. Thomas looks inside. Pushing up the ground, Johnson. Johnson towards half-forward side bottom. They've got the extra man across half-forward. Goes short cloak. Again, end to end.
Well, they've been wonderful, Collingwood, but Geelong's lack of being able to pressure and be strong. I mean, really, Thomas is just too strong then in the contest. Just so much space for Collingwood players to move into. I guess not used to having the opposition with the footy enough.
A bit like watching Muhammad Ali after he had sort of retired, fighting a sumo wrestler tonight. Just so sad in some respects. A great team is being humbled. This ball out to the right, perhaps the emergence of another great team. Let's go down to Tim.
Well, Collingwood have got a little injury concern at this stage. Luke Ball is limping. He's come off the ground. They've looked at his left hamstring. They've done some testing, a little bit of stretching, and now the medicos have taken him down into the medical room under the MCG here. So it's a minor concern at this stage.
Wojcinski. Ling through the centre. Selwood. Burns. Swan just putting that pressure on. Ablett running onto it brilliantly. Accelerating with a bounce. Straightening, and then off the side of the boot. Magnificent. How good was the check there?
And what about withdrawing the bounce? He was going to go for the bounce. That's like Tiger Woods stopping at the top of his backswing. He was going to bounce that ball, felt a touch, didn't let it go. Watch this.
It's fantastic. If this is a grand finals in Norm Smith Middle, they're 10 or 12 goals behind or something, he might still be the best player on the field.
And Stevie J, first real go at goal, and what an assist it turned out to be.
He's just the player that's provided the speed in and around the contest, Ablett. He's been able to accelerate clear, but you know, Bartel, your Corey's, Selwood's, players like that, they haven't been able to actually accelerate away from the Collingwood tackler, but Ablett has had the acceleration speed to do that quite regularly.
He's the top on every statistical category for Geelong. Kicks, handballs, disposals, not marks, clearances inside 50s, right up there in tackles as well. Lone hand.
Well, he can stand tall. 16-10 to 5-7. Approaching three-quarter time.
Okay, rack size up.
Good thing this wasn't the grand final. Everybody said these two sides will meet there, giving St Kilda no respect. Well, as a grand final, it would have been a fizzer. Hand pass from side bottom, who's been very active again. Over the top, Thomas. Beams goes back to Thomas, confronted by Milburn. Milburn backs off, so Thomas, all the time in the world, finds Reid.
Lee, just a bit of a question without notice. Was there a breaking point that you felt with the Brisbane Lions sides in the early 2000s?
Oh, well, about mid-2005. We went from being very good in 2004 to terrible by the end of 2005. It can go quickly.
Selwood, Wojcinski, back to Selwood. Little chip just beyond the wing, taken by Johnson.
And then Johnson wanting the run of Burns. A left footer now. Can he get around on it? He doesn't, and he kicks it down the line. It's a good kick to Podsiadly. He should have a shot. And you wonder how much footy Pods has got in him. He's 29. He's had a great season. I mean, not tonight, obviously, but he's kicked 48 goals this year.
Doesn't move like a 29-year-old. He looks like he's got pretty fresh legs the way he darts in and out, so expect a couple of years yet.
And he hasn't got the radar working tonight, so a couple of shots. Scored a behind with the first, and that one not close at all. So here is Luke Ball. Tim telling us about going down in the rooms.
Sort of walking like a cramp, but
it's not a cramp, that's a bad hamstring, so you'd be hoping it's a cramp.
Johnson along the boundary line. They're masters of this. The boundary line is a guide to them. It's almost like landing a jumbo. They just go along that line. And he sends it high. This time buying a bit of space. The mark is taken by Milburn. Milburn on the logo across the ground. Bartel lays it off. Kelly under pressure. Gets the kick inside the forward 50. Podsiadly launched himself. Fell in front, taken by Pendlebury, who started so well and now has drifted out of the game. But a possession there. Shaw runs past half back, up towards the wing. High ball to half forward. Dawes wants that front spot. Knocked away by Taylor. Close to the boundary line, out of bounds.
the luxury that Collingwood have got now is that they've got obviously an unassailable lead that they can actually try different styles of game plans looking forward to next week. So if they want to control the tempo of the game, or if they want to come through the middle or continue to work around the boundary, they can actually go A, B, C, with the result not being all that important.
Can I suggest A's worked well tonight?
Yeah, it certainly has.
I don't know whether I'd be messing around with the game plans, except of the holding up the ball. Don't be afraid to hold up play. Like, in other words, make this next quarter and a half less exertion than it might be by being prepared to slow the game down whenever you can.
So the Cats without any hope now in terms of a result. Lonergan kicks to half forward. Mooney working hard there. Little kick forward. Johnson and O'Brien. It's going to roll through from behind. So I thought Harry might have got a free kick there.
Harry, you've got to wait till he's done the signal.
Just played on a little bit early.
Short to Reid. 106 plays 38. So the winner of St Kilda, the Western Bulldogs, will play Collingwood in the grand final. It's been a while for all three clubs. Collingwood the most recent under Lee, 55, or rather 54 and 66. The other two, Wellingham in a race with Hunt, and Hunt able to push it back across the line. Remarkable as far as the Western Bulldogs are concerned. 1954 under Charlie Sutton. Would seem impossible with the draft and the salary cap. You just wouldn't jag one out of good luck. Ball down towards half forward. Chapman, can they go end to end? Chapman slides it out to the right. It bounces through for a behind.
And the other crazy thing about the Bulldogs, they've only been in one other grand final. That was in '61. So not only have they only won that one premiership, they only 2 grand finals. Saints have been in half a dozen. If Collingwood win, and they will, of course, they'll qualify for their 40th grand final tonight. They've actually played in 40 already. They played in 2 in 1. Only Collingwood do that, don't they? Eddie's always been a bit that way, hasn't he? We can blame him for 1977, but this will be they'll qualify for their 40th grand final tonight, which is clearly the record of any of the...
Not a great strike rate, though, is it?
No, they've won 3 out of their last 20 grand finals, Collingwood. They drew 1, but 3 of their last 20. It's not a good start.
That bit of footage, sorry, Lee, is just brilliant, because the tackle was great by Lee Brown on Jimmy Bartel, but the impressive thing was the next 3 blokes in there were Collingwood players again. Just shows the intent. They are absolutely playing absolutely ruthless football.
Don't think Bomber can believe this. Bartel, third man up, directs it down, taken by Stokes to Ablett. Ling under pressure, gets the kick. It was a touch ball down towards half forward. Otten's just 3 possessions. Will he get his 4th? He does. At close quarters, Bartel. Ablett again. Runs inside the 50. Centering kick, clever. And Varco takes the mark. Now, Varco should simply go back and kick a goal.
There's a few Geelong forwards trying to get usable.
Yes.
To see Gary Ablett there, obviously Geelong lost the 2008 premiership. He was a standout player for Geelong that day as well. In a pretty trying day for the Cats. He hasn't put a foot wrong tonight.
He got a hand pass alongside that clearance and then butted up on the 50 to give the ball to Varco, and Varco puts it out to the right, but I think it's okay. Sneaks home.
Yes, I must say, Gary Ablett, just the look from the outside as he wants to make this a really big game.
Yep.
I mean, obviously he wants to go into get Geelong into the grand final, but I think he's still running as hard and with as much energy.
Yeah.
Which,
and
if we want to be cynical, might be because I want to make sure my last bit in a Geelong jumper is really worthwhile.
And they haven't been junk touches. He's had 36 of them. They've been quality touches.
Terrific.
Varco, the owning multiple goal scorer. Ablett's 36 disposals equals a career high in finals for him.
Yeah.
We haven't quite got to 3/4 time.
36 absolute quality disposals too. You can accumulate junk possessions, but not tonight for Gary Ablett. He's playing the complete game.
Brown, good tap. Pendlebury. Ablett.
No ball, no prior. Ball pin. Thank you, Tyson. Room behind me, please, fellas. Some room behind me, please, fellas.
So Hawkins and Brown. Corey snatched it. Can't quite get away. Ling in close. Johnson. Stokes. Sidesteps Thomas. Back to Johnson. Johnson to Ablett. Well, he's going to go to 37 here. And you'd back him in to kick this.
That equals his best effort ever against Collingwood this possession. Round 3 last season he had 37.
He's 19 goals for from set shots this year. Ironically, hasn't kicked a goal in this final series. He's played well, but he's got a career high 44 goals this season. No. Gave it a ride, not quite. It would be fascinating if the Brownlow votes tonight, whether he'd be amongst them. You'd have to think he would, wouldn't he?
Oh. So, if he is
the outstanding player on the ground.
37 possessions, 80% efficiency, 11 contested.
Swan in the back pocket with the football. So if Ablett is headed north, Swan 25 possessions by comparison. If Ablett is headed north, I would imagine McKenna, that's the coach, not the band, would be salivating at the prospect. Swan short. Side bottom at centre half back. There's the siren. 3/4 time. He knows it. Grand final, here we come. Collingwood 16-11, 107. Geelong the champs on their knees, 6-10-46. Friday night football, the first preliminary final. Tim debuted for Essendon 60 days short of his 16th birthday. Veteran of 23 finals, which I didn't see quite that many. Start of the final term. Ling's got the football, kicks it towards half forward. Burns went to ground, didn't really need to. Feeds it back looking for Varco. Pendlebury slaps it his way. Selwood grabs it. Hurried kick down towards full forward. In front. Podsy Adley takes the mark, and that was a good, strong grab. Got a couple of possessions in the third term. Hasn't seen much of the football tonight, yet to kick a goal. But fair to say, too, during the course of the season, he struggled against Collingwood. Just 1 goal in 2 games, or rather 2 goals in 2 games.
Got it, Nathan. In line with me.
Should kick this. He's directly in front, 20 metres out.
So 3 shots tonight. He was 36-20 before tonight from set shots.
Hang on,
And his last couple have been awful, haven't they?
Hang on. Yep. Okay, right to go.
So back to a 10-goal game.
Kicked a lot of bags at Skilled Stadium, didn't he, Podge Adley?
Okay, moving on.
He did well at Etihad as well this year. They've been the two that he's done best at. He got 3 here last week, but his average is about a goal a game at the G. Goldsack, who was the man that came in tonight, Didak. He's had a fair bit of ball, Didak. Just the 1 goal, but he's been very good. And belted across. Just looking at Geelong. Hawkins, no kick so far. Otten's 1 kick so far. Mark Blake are going to be scratching his head and saying...
Well, remember when Mark Thompson said after the game, I think it was, that it was a bit of a Blake or Otten's potentially last week. So obviously hasn't been going well, Otten's.
Pendlebury kicks inside, 50.
Holding, Travis Clyde. Travis Clyde.
And Tom Lonigan and James Podge-Adley, the 2 out there for the Cats tonight that haven't played in a premiership.
Mark said.
Lonigan did play in the 08 final as a forward. And
That's your line. And Tom's on the mark.
It's a bit of jumpers being pulled by both players, but I get the umpire's angle. He saw the bit of jumper come away from Cloak's body.
well, it means nothing in the context of this match, Cloak, but you think every time he has a set shot, he'd want to nail it,
Well, he
wouldn't
should be nice and relaxed at the moment. He certainly shouldn't be tense.
He's played well. He's kicked a couple of first-half goals. There you go. He's got 3 for the night. He's going to be feeling good next week.
But you're right with that point, Bruce, in terms of actually him getting his confidence up. If he can get a couple of shots at goal, 2 or 3 goals, 2 or 3 shots at goal in this last quarter, the ability to kick accurately is important for him going forward. Get rid of those demons that tend to be around him when he has shots at goal.
Do you see how easily Jolly won that tap there and creating Pendlebury to run onto it?
Yeah.
Just see the real distinct advantage from having a dominant ruckman, Darren Jolly, be able to position himself and then deliver the tap down to Pendlebury to Cloak one-on-one. You're not going to lose too many contests like that.
Still 18 minutes to go. 113 to 47. Again, Jolly just hits it Collingwood's way, but Selwood's in the road, does well, spins out of trouble, goes towards half forward. O'Brien is there, step for step with Johnson. Varco flicks it across, taken by Mooney. Quickly to Corey, across the body, going back with the flight. Selwood plays onto the square, Burns, goal. Well done. His second.
It's good work right there by Joel Selwood in the middle of the ground. He was the one who got the clearance and urged it forward, came back with the flight of the ball. You just see him there bollocking through, kicking the ball long, and then the work rate to push back in. It's been a really interesting contest. I think Harry O'Brien has beaten Steve Johnson, set up really well at the start of the game. Steve Johnson's been able to chip away in a possession tally. He's up to 20, but only the 6 kicks. So you'd have to say that that Harry's taken the honours there.
Took a while to get a kick, Burnsy, but he'd had a few hands. That play by Selwood is what Geelong were looking for early on. He imposed himself, didn't he? Took it out of the centre, ran forward, got the mark. Seen very little of it tonight. It'll be difficult for Collingwood to maintain any intensity. You feel in this last quarter, don't you? Swan, he's had 21 kicks tonight, Swan. Next best is 14 with Ablett on the ground. Now Johnson kicked a wonderful goal in the first half. He's employing someone to come forward and then wobbling it towards full forward. Good effort at the back, Lonigan against Cloak.
It's funny, that energy. I mean, Geelong are playing for pride, and Collingwood have got the hope that they're going to win the game, and hope's a much better stimulant than so-called playing for your pride, I reckon. Just back to the kicks, a huge differential in kicks. Collingwood 170, Geelong 130. Geelong dominating the possession tally still, but I think we've seen tonight how important kicking the ball is, Lee. Well, one of the things, well, that's true, Collingwood kicked, but the clearances are similar, contested possessions are similar, tackles are similar. I mean, all those stats, that should be a relatively even game, but Collingwood's just use of the ball been so much better.
Hawkins knocks it down, falling to the ground. Selwood, Ling, out of defence end right to midfield. How will it bounce on its point? Shaw did pretty well initially, then lost it. Goes after it though, ties it up well for Collingwood. That's a good result.
Now, Dennis, Bruce, you know, Tom, I don't like those bottom of the pack free kicks. There hasn't been one tonight.
No.
Not one bottom of the pack holding the ball.
You've always had a lot of influence, Lee.
Brown spins out of trouble. Kicks inside the forward 50. In from the side, ghosting across. Barry Taylor takes the mark and chips to the pocket, and Jimmy Bartell.
Deep in that back pocket. Kicks to Varco. Been okay, hasn't he, Varco? Certainly in the best sort of 4 or 5 for the Cats. Podsiadly getting a bit of ball in the second half. Ling running hard, delivering to Stokes. Now that's the Geelong we've come to know and love over the last 4 years, that bit.
It's a really interesting situation to be in Collingwood's shoes right now. You're so far ahead. You've got the preliminary final. You can't help but cast your eye towards the grand final. Geelong were in a similar position last year.
You were there last year, Tom.
Game.
What would you be thinking?
Well, you can't help but think a little bit about self-preservation.
Yeah.
And the thing about, you do work on some things. You will try and control the tempo of the game, but you certainly don't want to get yourself injured.
So Stokes, good-looking kick, hugging the line and getting it. So Stokes gets his second goal, and Geelong tick the board over. They get within 10. They're back to a 9-goal game.
It's one of the things you would think Collingwood, Mick Malthouse would be. Well, okay, who do we want to get a little bit the longer? We've got to have 18 on the field, I guess. You can't go back to 17, but who do I want to be trying to give short quarters to? Who do I want to potentially be getting bigger minutes? That would be the balance he would be trying to play in this last 15 minutes.
And he's been working with one short for a while, hasn't he? With no
yeah, and
ball
it's one
yet.
short already, so he probably can't do much except spread it over 21.
St Kilda will start red-hot favourites tomorrow night against the Western Bulldogs. And if they advance to the grand final, as the bookmakers think they will, against Collingwood, I dare say during the week we'll hear a lot about Barry Breed. Knocked down by Brown. Kick comes down towards half forward. Charging up is Blair. Went to ground. Tries to paddle it out. Milburn steals the footy though. Goes to Chapman, who started so well but has drifted out of the game. Varco. Taken down is Blair. There's a Blair in there and a football as well.
Well, speaking of the rotations, Collingwood rotate just as much as anyone else, but the two players that haven't come off the ground at all are Ben Reid and Alan Tooby. So a lot of rotations through the middle of the ground, and Mick Malthouse will, bit of blood there for Travis Varco. Mick Malthouse will rotate his midfield, but loves to have a very settled back six.
So Ling harassed Didak off it. Long handball coming from Johnson to Milburn to Chapman. Well done, O'Brien on Selwood, who worked hard though. And now Wojcinski on the left foot. And every time you hear a mighty cheer down that end, you know that he's missed. Started okay, Wojcinski, with a run or two, but symbolic when Heath Shaw ran him down, basically, wasn't it, early in the match? Maxwell.
It was symbolic. I mean, he didn't lay the tackle, but it was symbolic of the inferred pressure.
Yep.
Just couldn't get away.
And speaking of inferred pressure or visual pressure, if you'll call it tonight, no one's done that better than this bloke, Maxwell.
Yep.
So he kicks the ball to centre wing. Cloaks, big fly, split the pack a bit. Ling, Wojcinski, a hard low ball. Johnson cleverly tapping it forward. Gee, what a success Ben Reid's been this year. He played 7 games in 3 years before this season, and now down back having just a terrific year. Lovely mark, McCaffer.
McCaffer along the boundary line has that for judgment. Wellingham just inside the chalk.
Does look for me as 20 years ago, but this is how the Eagles used to take the ball forward. Long time ago, but similar ball movement, hugging the boundary there.
Wellingham, who grew up supporting the West Coast Eagles, puts it onto the chest of Cloak.
Wonder what the common denominator is.
Yeah, no for rocket science to work that one out. Really, I mean, this is a big story here. Travis Cloak starting the game so well with the clunk mark and the pack mark and then going back and kick the goal. He's looked really strong in every one-on-one contest he's had tonight. That's a huge positive for Collingwood.
It's been a real downer for the tall Geelong defence, hasn't it? I mean, they've just been outmarked time and again.
So Cloak going at his 4th. As Bruce said earlier, his confidence very much on the rise, although this time he just tugs it to the right-hand side and through it goes. So all you hope is for no more injuries. Ball perhaps already. And the players not to do anything dumb in the coming week as Ablett drives it out to Joel Corey. I remember John Schmaltz. You'd remember that name.
John Schmaltz, I do.
played for the Atlanta Braves. He scalded himself while ironing his shirt leading up to a playoff game. He was wearing the shirt. Burns gives a hand pass across towards Ling. Ling kicks inside the forward 50. Podsiadly takes the mark.
Well, it's slightly different. I've got a story quite similar to that. Freddie Ljungberg, a great soccer player for Arsenal, actually missed a game because he had tattoo poisoning from the ink. I've seen a few of the Collingwood players have actually got a bit of ink too, so they might want to stay clear of the parlours this week.
They'll be open for a bit of tattooing after the grand final time.
Perhaps.
Podsiadly, meantime, will kick it goal from about 30 metres out.
Did you go to the premiership tattoos?
No,
last few years, Tom?
I'm a clean skin, Lee. Scared of needles.
Well, actually, being a clean skin is almost like a badge of courage, isn't it? Point of difference. Podsiadly comes in and eventually, after several misses, kicks a goal.
He's had a few shots, 4 on goal. Just being devil's advocate for a moment, if he kicked 4 goals, you reckon Presti's chances would have improved tonight? He's had 4 shots on goal in the second half.
Well, I mean, I guess it depends, yeah, whether Nathan Brown, Ben Reid and the Presti, you know, if you get against Kosicki, for instance, if they happen to play St Kilda and the Kosicki's there, you know, do you go for the bigger man, which is maybe Presticoma?
It's the colourful artwork of Dane Swan. Lee, you played in 8 premierships. Are you a clean skin?
I am a clean skin.
I would have guessed that one, wouldn't you, Dan?
Yeah.
I'm scared of needles too, Tom.
I reckon the needle would break with you, Lee.
So Jolly belting forward. Chapman chasing. Good mark by Burns. So Gary Ablett just one disposal in this final term. At full forward at the moment on Harry O'Brien. So Scarlett to Hunt. Wide. Kelly. He's had a career high number of tackles tonight, Kelly, but no real impact. Should have left it for Ablett in the end. Corey in trouble. He's had to handball back a lot tonight, Corey. Gee, Stevie Johnson, He's just hit a wedge sideways out of the bunker into another bunker, I think.
Pendlebury to Johnson. Johnson along in the wing. Dawes again. Wonderful strength. Always wants front position.
Presents up really well. He had, Bruce, you spoke about it earlier in the night, is that lead-up player. He's really come a long way this year.
Pendlebury. Johnson. Didak just steps off the bench. Johnson, or rather Thomas, looking back inside towards Johnson, decides to go to Didak. Didak runs to 52 metres out, lines up, not quite into the arms of Scarlett.
He's had 6 shots on goal tonight, Alan Didak, for 1 goal, which, gee, if you're going to play him again next week, you think the chance are he'll kick 5 out of 6. He's had plenty of ball, hasn't he?
He looks like a Norm Smith medalist, doesn't he, Alan Didak? Gets on the big stage, you can see him tearing a grand final apart. For sure.
Chapman, who's never played in a final without a goal before tonight, may suffer that this evening.
We talked a lot tonight about kick-handball ratios. I mean, it's often 1 for 1, but Collingwood, it's 1 for 2, 190-odd kicks, 185 handballs.
It's a phenomenal discrepancy. In the modern game for about 1.3 kicks for 1 handball. That's very high, isn't it? Stokes, little kick, Selwood. And Selwood, little kick, Burns. So Burns has kicked a couple. Varco's kicked a couple. Stokes has kicked a couple. Short to Ottens has only had the 1 kick. Interesting with Ottens, over the last 3 seasons, he's played 36 out of a possible 74 games. 36 out of 74. And that attendance is the 2nd highest ever for a prelim final since we've had a final 8. Only beaten by the 98,000 here between these 2 teams in 2007. In fact, it's only the 2nd time we've had over 90,000 as Ottens goes for goal and gets it.
Yeah, that showed the state of the game. Ottens kicked the goal and walked back to full forward, and everyone just walked off to their positions because really it's just
lifeless now.
It's just playing out the game, playing out time. It's actually with the hit out's actually in fact in Geelong's way. So the pure ball on hand from the ruck work that has gone okay for Geelong.
Frank Costa, been a fantastic president from the Geelong Football Club. He steps down at the end of this year. Colin Carter to take over as chairman. He's done an absolutely marvellous job to turn the club around from a $9 million debt into the club it is today.
And his right-hand man just sitting to his left, if that makes sense. Ryan Cook. What a pair they've been. What a club it's been. There's Thomas. Comes out wide, close to the boundary.
How many marks would Collingwood have taken within a metre of the boundary line? I reckon.
It's uncanny, isn't it?
30 or 40. Here's another one. I didn't go take that one, though.
Tightrope walkers they are. The ball's out of bounds.
But the other thing it highlights is the actual skill, the execution, how specific and how talented they are with kicking the ball. Just so accurate.
Tom, you weren't bemoaning the fact earlier about no celebration after that last goal, were you?
Just before?
Yeah, the last one.
No.
That's okay. Okay, there goes Johnson down towards half foot. I was just wondering, because we see a lot of those spontaneous and inverted commas celebrations after a goal.
The Seppo stuff from the West Indians in 1985.
Yeah. I'm a little dubious about some of those. I mean, you can't believe that Edwards and McLeod were that lucky. You know, suddenly to spin around and there was the other in each other's arms. There's a bounce on the wing. Sometimes the coaches tell you to celebrate, sort of keep up the energy levels.
Probably not now.
Yeah, not now.
No.
It would be an act now.
Hey.
Peter Dacos.
Yeah. Steve Johnson's footy heroes. Steve Johnson grew up barracking for Collingwood.
Jeez, got a lot of his tricks too, hasn't he? There he is, right on cue, Den.
Amazing. Takes a lot of organising, that, Bruce.
Did it beautifully. Bartell. That's what happens when you're number one. Enright to Kelly to Bartell, and then Bartell, squeezy little one. Well done, Didak. Well, that typifies Collingwood tonight, doesn't it?
Didak might have hurt the shoulder or something. No.
Not so well done, Didak, no. Now Swan gets good meterage, Swan. Cloak using the body, and Lonergan building it over the line. There is Didak.
Bit of a clip wing.
He actually got the left arm. That
Pulled out of the socket,
would have at least tweaked the shoulder, whatever.
Clearly strapped, obviously has some history with that.
He did.
You'd be denying an injury at Collingwood this week, wouldn't you?
Seems to be okay, though.
So important to them. Chapman towards the 50. Punched away by a defiant captain there, Maxwell. Taken by Shaw. Goes short to Thomas. He's at left half back.
Thanks, Paul. That's
Clock continues to run. Just junk time in this game now. When it counted, this guy was terrific. Brown early on. What a pickup. They've been so astute in recent years, Collingwood, with the players they've picked up. This year, of course, highlighted by Ball and Jolly. Just repeating a question mark over Ball. Maybe a hamstring tear.
Been amazing late possessions for Jolly and Ottens. They've only had 3 and 5 respectively.
O'Brien. Harry O'Brien grew up barracking for the Bombers, talking about childhood teams and heroes. His hero was Michael Long, who was a star in September. So next week, Harry will have a chance to emulate his hero. Here's Reid in the back pocket. Comes out to Thomas.
Just another question without notice. Lee, what would you do with Prestigiacomo Reid's situation?
Well, if it happened to be Kaczynski, they had to play St Kilda. Gee, you may well lead to his size, although the way Reid and O'Brien and Maxwell and O'Brien are playing down there, you might just stick with what's working.
Yep. So Reid's long kick to centre wing. Dawes, this time at the back, doesn't make any difference. And Tom Hawkins still hasn't had a kick tonight. 7 handballs.
You're cruel, Bruce.
Well, I reckon if I was Mark Blake, I'd be sitting in the stand thinking, I either need another club or something's got to happen. So Dawes down the line. I mean, it's easy being wise after the event, but Lee, I know you were strong on maybe they needed the second ruckman tonight.
Well, it wouldn't have made any difference tonight, but...
Didak's kicked to 40 metres. Scarlett belts it away. Well done, Selwood to Ling to Enright to Varco. And the kick to 50 marked by Burns, who's having a productive final turn.
The ruck situation really has been negligible. You commented about Jolly and Ottens. The hit-outs, I think you said Geelong were in front. Geelong are leading the clearances, but it certainly hasn't had an influence on the game.
At all.
And Burns has kicked right to the square. Pozzielli almost.
Oh, clear, Dave.
But I was only thinking the ruck work it's when Dada gave his shoulder, that the ruck work as the precursor to clearances.
Yeah.
But the clearances, contested positions, that hasn't been Geelong's problem.
Thank you, Joel.
Saw Eddie Maguire when Didac momentarily was writhing on the ground. Seems to be okay, has had a possession since. Thomas goes back, doing what Lee suggested, just running the clock now.
Energy preservation now.
Side bottom. Harry doesn't know about that though. Look at him go. Harry.
And the crowd love it.
Beams. That's more like it. That's the air going out of the balloon. There's Maxwell. Don't look at me like that, Tom. I did my own sound effects. The ball goes up towards the wing. Coming through was Cloak. This is when we need stuff. Enright. Johnson. Johnson goes short. Finds Ling. Oh, Ablett set a real task here. Still he goes, but 3 beat him. Swan. Johnson. Tuvey tried. You heard the umpire. Milburn had a trying night. Ablett terrific. Ling. Look at the pressure from Collingwood. Much as they started, and they're forcing Geelong backwards. Bartel wide got it from Hunt. They're still going backwards. Oh, that's a terrific effort by Collingwood. Given the score, they're just sticking at it.
It proves, Dennis, that footy's about habits, and they do it habitually, regardless of the state of the game.
And Scarlett turns it over in the end, and then Didac wants it back, and he gets it back. He'd love a late goal, but he does the team thing, kicks to the top of the goal square, and side bottom, well, he puts some cream on the most beautiful cake imaginable for both the Pies.
Another famous Collingwood fan. So the Cloaks before, the Shaws there.
Well, that's amazing. We know there was 95,000 people here at one stage. I reckon it's about 70 now. There's a lot of vacant seats, but I think most of them, well, we said about halfway through the second quarter, those Collingwood supporters might be queuing up for grand finals.
They've already gone.
Get first in the queue.
Where do they go, Lee, on a night like tonight to get a ticket?
They'll fight. They'll know wherever you've got to go, they'll be there.
Still side bottom with that last goal. Tony Shaw now in the VFL AFL Hall of Fame. Last premiership captain, worked hand in hand with our man Lee Matthews, the champ. Blair out of the middle, kicks inside the forward 50 from behind. Lonergan got a first on it. But generally has been the case. Collingwood lead. They scatter brilliantly to get the crumb. Initially it was Wellingham. Now it's Beams. Feeds it out. Didac, slippery. McCaffer. Ball just fell. Hunt. And now running it up Johnson. To the wing Bartel. 28th possession Bartel. Just a typical Jimmy Bartel game. Sometimes win or lose. His game just doesn't alter. He's tried pretty hard. Tuvey, I'm sure he's one of those players Michael Malthouse just loves. He stayed in the team and a lot of people doubted he could be a major contributor. Here's Maxwell. Got it from Shaw.
So Maxwell back. He's kept picking him, Dennis, and he keeps doing the job too. There you go,
There's
Lee.
another one a metre from the boundary line. I wonder if they keep stats on those, how long the mark is from the boundary line.
Well, Mick did say on game day last night, he's not a huge stat counter, but he has some obscure ones. Maybe that's one of them.
Yeah.
Looking at Pendlebury, he hasn't had a lot since half-time, but no one was more influential than him in the first quarter, was it? Where they kicked 2 first-quarter goals. What's going through your mind now, Tom, with 3 minutes to go? We're seeing the end of something that's been just wonderful to watch. It's been pretty special the last 4 years by Geelong.
Yeah, it has been. I mean, I guess as a Geelong player and a teammate, a lot of these guys don't like seeing a performance like this. They'll still be a good side next year. The really impressive thing about this game has been the role-playing of Collingwood, and they look like they're on the verge of something similar to what we were back in 2007.
Wellingham, Blair missed the target. Ablett had it counting down to his final kick. I say probably, not certainly. In a Geelong jumper, Maxwell surely must get a free kick.
Gee, they might be a week early, but I can recall that last 5 minutes of 1990, that Collingwood echoing around the MCG. It just...
I was there. I was a Bombers fan. I had
it was tingles.
32 on it.
What's that old saying? Keeping a lid on it. It's going to be an interesting week in Melbourne, isn't it?
Yeah. No lid here tonight.
Darren Jolly's free kick. Darren Jolly's free kick. Thank you.
Lids are overrated. Get them off. Rip them off.
Quietish night, Jolly. I mean, he's been an imposing figure this year for Collingwood.
Yeah.
It's been a great pickup. Just his second kick. But, gee, they're a much better team with him in the side, aren't they?
Well, yeah, I mean, he's given them a power ruckman, a really good quality ruckman when they were a little bit vulnerable in that particular position.
So, Enright's little squeezy one to Stokes. And Stokes looking for Wojcinski. There's a bit of a blue one in the centre with Tuvey and Burns, but all okay. Wojcinski low, and Tommy's going to have a shot. So Hawkins to full forward. They must have been counting as well, and Bartel takes the mark. In defence of Hawkins, I mean, he's either a big forward, isn't he? I mean, you just can't see him playing as a second ruckman for the rest of his life, can you?
We spoke about it last week against Fremantle. I think he's really suffered from the addition of James Podgett. I thought he's making some really big gains as that second forward. Played a really good final series last year, but his role's been a little bit more confused, and he's probably paid the price.
Kicked 34 goals last year. He looked like he was on the up, didn't he? So Bartel gets it home for an 11th goal.
Yes, I think the difference is, like, Lee Brown and Hawkins are similar size and shape, but Brown's just got more speed and movement. I mean, I don't think Hawkins has got any more movement, really, to be honest, than Ottens or Jolly. But he hasn't got the size in terms of the ruck work, but certainly doesn't get enough ball around the ground for a follower-type second ruckman.
As an endurance athlete, I think Lee Brown has got a big tank. He can cover the ground. He can go back and go forward. Tom Hawkins doesn't have a big tank, so he's, you know, he puts the effort in the middle of the ground and then down at full time.
It's a great shot, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just ticked over 40 possessions, Gary Ablett.
This is thoughts running through his mind. You can almost see them.
There's the bounce then. Jolly was up, missed the footy. Swan's got it. Not 15 the call. And Bruce, you're a man who knows his odds. I can't imagine there's anything St Kilda or the Western Bulldogs, for that matter, can do tomorrow that would stop Collingwood being red-hot favourites come the grand final.
No, I reckon about $1.50 tops, and that's if the Saints won by 6. If the doggies scramble home, well, they won't be able to get on.
I think the week off is a really significant factor this time of year, and I mean that's as it might just accentuate Collingwood's speed and movement comparative to Geelong.
They're there. They're into another grand final, the Pies. Well, in the end, it was a flattering result for Geelong, to be honest. It was 18-12, 120 Collingwood over Geelong, 11-13, 79. And if it's Gary Ablett's last game for the Cats, he's given us another one to remember. 40 disposals, the fallout for Geelong, fascinating.